Tigers football. I shall call it Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for all things football. The Fan. Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Les Maurice joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right. The bells hit a little different this week. Last week, you hear the bells. Let's do it live. Let's go. We're good to go. Texas in town, ready to rock, campus buzzing. It's a little different. A little different this week with the Gramling Tigers coming into town for a 3:30. Is that what we decided on? 3:30 Big Ten Network kick? Is that what we're looking at, boys, here between the Buckeyes and the Tigers from Gramling State? They all can't be Texas. And quite honestly, they all shouldn't be Texas. I do think it's important that you play these type of games. I think when you play these type of games, number one, you need them economically. Number two, the coaching staff needs a break. You need a little bit of a break coming out of Texas. Number three, you need it for development. You need the bottom of this roster to play some football. And you need some of these young guys to take snaps and spin it around. The last time Ohio State lost to a team from what is now the FCS, what is previously 1AA, was 1893. It was Oberlin. Now, the problem with that is Oberlin wasn't FCS then because FCS didn't exist and 1AA didn't exist. My hunch is Oberlin was a mighty football power in 1893. The last time we played an FCS team was Youngstown State in 2023. That was a 35-7 win against the Pens. The last time we played an HBCU, as far as I could tell, was Florida A&M in 2013. That was 73-0, something like that, against the Rattlers. So. This one, the outcome is already determined. It is known. The talent discrepancy will be as big as you will see in the sport this weekend. And yet, from the Buckeye perspective, there is work to be done. Because of the way that Ohio State approached the Texas game last week, especially offensively, where they really didn't need to do anything. And Ryan told you that. Sometimes he just tells you the truth, kids. It's all out there for you. And he said, look, play clean, play clean, play clean. He said clean 1,000 times last week. And that's what they did. They played clean, and because they played clean and because they executed when they needed to and had a style of play offensively that took the air out of the ball for Texas, it put Ohio State's defense on its toes, and it led to the most impressive win of week one, a win against the number one team in the country and the Heisman frontrunner. This week, you can work on all of the things that you didn't need last week. So my hunch is you will see a healthy dose of those wide receivers getting going. I think the depth of the wide receiver room will get going as well. I think Julian will spin it all over the place. I think he'll try to get the run game going a little bit. One thing we know about Ryan is he is not out here to embarrass anybody. So I don't sense 77-0. Could be wrong, but I don't sense it. That's typically not the way that he goes about his business. I don't see a scenario where Ohio State's still putting pedal to metal into the third and fourth quarter. I think you kind of go all out in that first quarter, then you get some guys going in the third and fourth. And so this type of game for Ohio State serves a purpose. Well, guess what? It serves a purpose for Gramling State as well because of the paycheck that is coming their way. And I covered an HBCU. I covered Florida A&M in Tallahassee for 6 seasons. And one of my favorite guys ever who I met in this business is the legendary Billy Joel, who's the coach at Florida A&M, was on the Bills teams, played for the Jets with Namath. Just a legendary figure and won a ton of games. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame and is just an all-time great dude. But one of the things that I'll never forget this, they played Miami, I want to say in 01 or 02 when Miami had it humming. And they got to put on him pretty big. And when he came back from his press conference, he didn't say it publicly, like in terms of on a microphone, but he came over to me and another guy and he said, look, the check's cashed. And what these checks do for an athletic department like this is they prop it up and they make it possible. So this is the part of college football business that is critical for a team like Gramling State to be able to keep their head above water, and they need to play games like this. You see this on the college basketball side all the time, where they basically go on these tours and play these show-up games around the country to fund their athletic department. Well, this is the same thing here. Difference here, this is a collision sport. It's a physical sport. There's going to be a beating to it, but this game is very necessary for both the Buckeyes because of the things that need to be worked on and the depth that needs to play, and financially for Grambling. Both are necessary.
Yeah, I do think even for the players, you talked just one player on that Grambling Tigers roster is from what would be considered the northern portion of the United States. Most of them are Louisiana kids. Would probably tell you that they'd love to have this opportunity, that they love the idea of going and playing at Ohio Stadium, in the afternoon, week 2 of the regular season. And you'll hear from Mickey Joseph, who's the head coach of the Gramling State Tigers later on in the program, but they have a lot of similar expectations, for their players for this game. Now, the win's not going to be the thing, but they understand going into it that that's not really what this is about. And so I think the opportunity, I think the experience, I think the exposure, I think all of that is a huge win for Grambling, and their band's awesome. So what I think you're going to get from the fans at Ohio Stadium tomorrow is a great performance from bell to bell. And that's really all you can ask for in a game like this. Now, when you have Ohio on the schedule next week, I'd like to think maybe in the future you just do kind of one of these, and the other one becomes a Power 5 opponent. Maybe not like a gigantic one, like a Vanderbilt or something.
I don't have a problem with that.
But let's not do FCS and MAC week, in back-to-back weeks, please.
Yeah, the economics of it, as you know, are the problem, because you don't want to give up another home game, and usually when you play a Power 4, you're going to have to do a home and away. But I do wonder, Reese, to your point, it just gets me thinking. I do wonder if we get to a point where even everybody in the Power 4 isn't the same. Like you mentioned, Vanderbilt. Love the Commodores, but is there a Big 12 team that you just pay them to come here and play? Is that something that you do in order to make sure that you keep that gate for one game? Go ahead, Vic.
I understand the points on this, right? But we want these guys now, like we're talking about expanding the playoff into the 20s. Mm-hmm. We want these guys to play 18, 19, 20 games of football.
No, I don't.
Where they're knocking heads every week and it's super competitive every week. I just think that's a lot for these younger kids. And it's also a lot, like this is a great game, we hope, for the starters to get in there, get in some rhythm, get a little more continuity, and then take the pads off and sit and enjoy watching the guys that they practice with every week get in there and have some ball. Like I don't hate these games like everyone else. I think they're a little bit necessary, especially in a sport where there's no preseason. You have no getting ready, and last week was an oddity where you jumped right into the fire. Usually you stick your finger in a little bit, check the temperature for a week or two, and then you jump in.
Don't you have 2 bye weeks, though? Is that the case this season, or is it just the one bye week?
I think it's just the one still.
Which is good. Then that's kind of I think with a game like Texas last week, I would think that Ohio State would want to build off of that. And they would want an opponent that's equitable in terms of talent and status so that they could see, all right, that wasn't a mirage. We can keep this going. Because you do have Washington at the end of the month that's going to, I think, provide not only a challenge on the field, but a road challenge. Like, for Ohio State's aspiration of summiting college football's mountaintop again, this game isn't that.
I mean, Listen, I understand we look at this sport like it's the NFL, but it's just not. There's only, 10, 15 schools that year in and year out are on the same playing field as Ohio State, right?
That's too high. The number's too high.
So you got to.
It's 8.
I don't know.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Let's keep a little of the separation here. Like, everything can't be the NFL.
No, and I think it's important that college football doesn't turn into the NFL entirely, although they're basically reverse engineering it, except for the one thing that would actually save them. If you want me to tell you what the perfect Ohio State schedule would be for Ryan Day, this is my hunch. Grambling's the opener, then Ohio, then Texas, then bye week, then Washington into Big Ten play. That's the one for him. Nobody wants to open with Texas. He didn't want that. Sark didn't want that. Nobody wanted it. You know who wanted it? We wanted it. And the TV executives wanted it. Why? Because 16.5 million of you folks watched it. And they knew they would because they didn't have the NFL. They had the weekend to themselves. And they will crow about 16.5 million people watching it. They'll crow about 3 games going 10 million over the weekend in all of the windows. All of those things are going to matter. So that's why it was played. But if you ask Ryan Day what he would want, yeah, he wants to play Texas. But he'd rather go Grambling, Ohio, Texas. That's the order he would want. So we have to kind of think of this, I think, almost like it's been reverse engineered, where this is my hunch. The Texas game is it's almost like the Super Bowl showcase exhibition, right? We learned a little bit about what this team is. You get a massive metric in terms of data points in the college football playoff. But now you spend the next 3 weeks kind of as almost a secondary build to conference play. It's like you built through camp for Texas. Well, now the next 3 weeks, you're kind of tuning to Washington. That's kind of the way that I think they're going to approach this. This is not what he would want, is the order of this. But all of these things are necessary for different reasons, depending on which side of the coin you're on it. Either way, there's going to be a lot to pay attention to in this one, especially when some of those backups get in. I mean, we could get our first look at Tavian St. Clair and Scarlet and Gray. I mean, that's very likely going to happen.
Gosh,
yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, very likely going to happen in the game tomorrow. So kickoff is at 3:30, 10 a.m. fan pregame show with Maddie, DeVere, and Dane. And then at noon, the fan tailgate show, AR, Tim, and Bids, live from campus. Then the Ohio State Sports Network pregame show with Skip, Paul, and Jim. Kickoff at 3:30. Postgame, Beam and Zwicky follow that. And then the postgame, some dude named Captain Reeser and Thidoff. God, you two UA guys. How smug can that show
like
be?
9:30 in the P, Saturday night.
Gracious.
We'll have Michigan, Oklahoma to talk about.
Yes, you will. That's a fun one. We had game 1 of the NFL last night. It certainly started with a bang and a splatter. It ends 24-20. The final, the defending champs get the win. We will take a look back at what happened last night and something that I went to sleep believing proved differently this morning. We'll get to all of that coming up next. We're off and running on a Football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes plug-ins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Looking to save on your auto loan? CME wants to beat your current rate by 1.5% APR. Low rates and no payments for 90 days. Why wait? Refinance today and keep more money in your pocket. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 4.99% APR. Federally insured by NCAA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save up to $30 on auto repair with the AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through September 30th. See store for details.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
For a limited time, you can enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with egg meal, including golden hash browns and a small hot coffee for just $5. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Buckeye fans, did you know you can get 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game if you replace all the windows in your home with Window Nation? This month, when you buy 2 windows, Window Nation will give you 2 for free. Plus, you won't make any payments for 2 years. That's right. No interest, no monthly payments, and no down payment for 2 years. Get 1-day installation with Window Nation, a proud partner of The Ohio State University. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Go Bucks!
Ryan Day's Buckeyes are back at the shoe for a meeting with Gramling. I think they're the Tigers. I don't care if it's right. We're going with the Tigers.
Live fan coverage starts Saturday at 10 with the kick at 3:30.
The Fan.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun. Your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you pick match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports skidball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
This afternoon, plenty of sunshine and breezy. We will see those afternoon highs soar in the mid to low 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, we'll see chances of showers and storms developing overnight, some which could be on the stronger side, so make sure to have ways to get warnings. Our lows will get down into the 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
In watching the pregame of the game from last night between the Eagles and the Cowboys, it occurred to me that I need to check Philadelphia off my bucket list, and not necessarily to see like Ben Franklin or the Declaration of Independence or whatever else they got there, Freedom Hall, all of it. I think what I would most like to do is just go to a sporting event there of a team that's good, particularly the Eagles or the Phillies. It feels like it's about as cool a place as you can go. I thought they crushed it. All of that stuff. They just crushed it. And it's a hole in my resume. I've never been to Philadelphia. So it's one of those things I got to check off because it checked every box. Then Boys to Men comes out. If they would have broken out End of the Road, I would have been in a puddle of tears. Just in a puddle of tears.
If would have been a lot of babies made last night.
Hey, baby.
Who says there weren't? There was a 65-minute weather delay. You had time.
Well, there's certain precautions I've taken to make sure that doesn't continue as far as our family is concerned, Reese. So we're good here.
Snip.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can't leave those things to chance, boys. Once you have 3, that's good. That's a good
those
job.
Those are rookie numbers.
We're all done. We're all done.
Pump those up.
All right, so I watched until 24-20, the field goal in the third quarter, and it's so crazy how like our picks have me like all I'm concerned about is Philly getting another touchdown and winning 31-20 and covering the 8.5. That's all I'm thinking about is the field goal. But at the same time, like it's into the 10s, it's approaching 11. At that point, it's like, all right, time to go to bed. That's enough. The alarm hits at the same time. So I went to bed last night with the understanding that Jalen Carter just flat out spit on Dak Prescott. And that's kind of the headline of the game. Both teams, it was a really fun first half. Doesn't appear that I missed much in the fourth quarter of this thing. Really fun first half. I actually thought Dak's receivers really failed him. I mean, he put several balls on the screws on the hands that were dropped.
It's like CeeDee Lamb had Philadelphia minus the 8.5.
Yeah, it's so many drops. It was like, man, it was right there and to do, but it's the Carter spit that's the headline. So I went to bed thinking this man just walked up to Dak Prescott and spit. Then this morning, spit on him. This morning, I saw the other angle, and while Dak does not spit at Jalen Carter, he spits kind of in the vicinity of Jalen Carter. And then was asked about it post-game about how he spits 1,000 times in a game or some crazy thing like that, which I think to me incriminated him even a little bit more. Obviously, Carter can't do that. Bake, you and I were talking off air. I've never had the urge to do that. I've never seen another man do that to another man. As I've told you in the break, I've seen a woman do it to man, and in that instance, it was justified. Sorry, pal, it was. And that's about it. I don't know where that urge comes from, but it was not entirely unprovoked. Now, Carter didn't need to get in the mix at all. He didn't even need to walk towards the Cowboy huddle. All of that was just stupid on his part, and it's one of those things that was allowed for him to be drafted where he was because he has the character issues, including the tragedy when he was down to Georgia. So all of those things swirl around him, and so he's failing an intelligence test by walking over to the Cowboys huddle. But I did see that video of Dak spitting in his direction that happened before, and then Dak was asked about it postgame. That's something I didn't have last night.
I don't know if you saw the video of him in the postgame either when he's apologizing for it, but he's almost like smiling and smirking, which like just makes it even worse to me. Like there's no remorse out of you at all for this.
Didn't even seem like there was in the moment.
No, like him walking off the field, I think he just kept mouthing like, come on, man, like, how are you going to do that to me? Like, well, because you spit on another human. Like, you hocked to a Thursday night football and right in front of the official.
Yeah.
Like, he's an idiot. I think that's very fair to say. And it he's out there, it's I think, the difference for the Eagles and the Cowboys. Like, Dak's receivers dropping balls didn't help, and I think Philadelphia, for some reason, like the Cowboys didn't want to play Jalen Hurts as a running quarterback because they just gave him massive tracks to run through. But that if Carter's out there, it's different because there were a ton of times, at least in the first half, because I fell asleep at halftime, woke up as they were coming out of the weather delay, and it's like, all right, this game's over. You probably could have called it. But the idea that, they had Dak Prescott a couple times, but he was just able to kind of wiggle in and out of a few hairy spots, like that's different, I think, if Jalen Carter's in the middle.
Yeah. They lost their best player. They lost their best defensive player 6 seconds into the game before a snap. So that's a tough spot. It's interesting, too, like how fantasy stuff, like how you're so panicky about fantasy stuff. So obviously A.J. Brown was drafted pretty high. 1 catch, 8 yards. He only had 1 target in the game last night, and A.J. was drafted relatively high. Devonta Smith had 3 for 16 is all he ended up with in this one. Hurts, luckily I have. The rushing touchdowns are very, very nice. Young Beamsy was in a full panic because he was so mad that he didn't play Javonte Williams, who's on his bench.
I saw a couple people with that.
I'm like, come on, dude. Like, no, he ran 15 times for 54 yards. Like, it's not like he was running for 165 yards in the game. Like, he jumped in from a yard out. I do think the Cowboys, you mentioned CeeDee Lamb, Reese, they do have a little bit of a CeeDee Lamb over dependency. He threw it to him 13 times. He threw at CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson was the next best with 6 targets. If they don't spread that out a little bit, they're going to get a steady diet of this stuff. 13 targets for one dude and only catching 7 of them. That is not a ratio that you want if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. I thought both these teams looked good. I thought they both looked good. I think Dallas offensively, they're basically the NFC's version of the Bengals is what they're going for.
2 things. I do think like Jerry Jones probably walked out of that stadium thinking like, we're almost there. We get those 5 guys that I talked about in the Micah Parsons trade. Those are the defending Super Bowl champs. We played a great game. They're not almost there. Like that's the Cowboys and the Eagles. Those are week 1 clunky. The Eagles are going to get better from this. The Cowboys are probably going to be the same team. And does the NFL need to do a better job of talking to teams before games saying, hey, if you flex or if you make any kind of emotion after a big play, we're going to flex? Because it's going to cost a team a game sometime in the next week or so, I think.
You know they do this every year, week 1. They overdo a rule. They did it a couple of years ago. Who was it in the opener that kept – it was Kansas City. That kept the tackle kept lining up. They kept calling him for procedure. And it was maddening. They called him for it like 6 times, that tackle for Kansas City. And we're like, he's asking you where to line up. Just tell him where to go. So we don't have to keep doing this. So the taunting stuff that they threw all the flags at last night, my guess is that chills out a little bit as it goes along, as the season goes along. But always in week 1, they hit one rule, one point of emphasis, they call it. They just bury it into the ground.
To Reese's point about Jerry Jones, I did think it was funny last night. So we went to the Clippers game. So we were heading home, and I was listening to the game here on the Fan, and it was Harlan and someone. I don't remember who he was with, but at one point, this was towards the end of the first half, Harlan says something like, the Dallas Cowboys are doing a whole hockey line change with their defensive line right now. They're bringing in a whole new unit trying to get something going, and I'm thinking – there might have been a guy that was on this team not too long ago that could help with that. just saying.
But they got 5 guys in return for Micah Parsons, potentially 5 guys. So like that could help down the road.
And I didn't hate what Dallas did with Micah Parsons. Like I know he's a great player, but I do think they got a lot of value, and I think that was a lot of money to sign him for. I just thought that was an interesting moment.
Well, it's an interesting moment. It's also the timing of the Micah thing was absurd. They basically traded Micah Parsons at the time when they had the least amount of leverage to do so. Had they done it around the draft, they could have had a rookie defensive end, outside linebacker on this team right now ready to go. I mean, Dak's in his prime. What are we doing wasting time with these type of things? But, yeah, it was a fun opener. It was really entertaining. I think both teams were really sharp, especially in the 3 quarters of football I saw. It was really sharp, well-played game, and I think Dallas will be a fun team. I think the over is going to be something you're going to hit a lot of times on Dallas. Philly, obviously, is no notes. There's nothing. They're complete. They're going to be. I mean, they won this thing relatively in control, and they didn't get either the wide receivers going. Really didn't get Saquon going much either, and so they're going to be much better as this thing goes along. You got NFL football tonight as well. It is the Chargers and Chiefs. That one is a YouTube exclusive. So that is an 8:00 kick from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and that is a YouTube exclusive. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to forget about this because it's a YouTube exclusive.
And the thing is, like, I saw some people saying, well, if you have YouTube TV, yes, obviously you're going to have it. But I do wonder how many of the people in our listening audience don't have YouTube TV, because like that's what this is important for. It's YouTube. YouTube TV is obvious, but like if you're not subscribed to YouTube TV, just get on YouTube.
Yeah, you can do it on YouTube. That's just the regular app. What are we got to think about that. What are the ways that we are consuming our sports right now? I'm curious what our audience is doing on that. The Buckeyes obviously more than ready for Gramling. A lot of history with the Tigers coming into this one. A game where we need to see kind of this Buckeye offense start to be what it's going to be. And I tend to think that we will. You'll hear from the coaches in charge of it all in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Dormar, your climate hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Right now in Washington, there's a fight going on to make life more affordable and bring back American jobs. Some play politics, and some want to get things done. Senator John Husted is cutting through the noise, putting Ohio first. The new tax bill delivers for working families and helps small businesses hire and grow right here in Ohio. Tell John Husted, keep fighting for Ohio families and small businesses. Paid for by Senate Opportunity Fund.
He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. This is what the Buckeyes train so hard for.
Just like Valvoline Instant Oil Change, their techs train like pros to deliver expert service every time.
Wait, are we talking football or oil changes?
Both. Whether it's the Buckeyes on the field or your car in the bay, it's all about preparation and precision.
Can't argue with that.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit VIOC.com/Buckeyes today.
IKEA is celebrating 40 years of making home dreams possible in the U.S. Visit us in stores September 3rd until the 23rd for limited time offers and experiences like our Ortianda streetwear collection, our new Tilvercott furniture, daily chances to win gift cards, and more. Come celebrate 40 years of meatball-fueled shopping, brave attempts at our Swedish names, and the inexplicable need for stylish modern design. Offer valid September 3rd through September 23rd, 2025. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary. See store and ikea.us.com for details. Restrictions apply.
It's always a good day at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship, September 18th through 21st at the Scarlet Course. PGA Tour's rising stars compete, Hub 13 drink specials, and more. Get free tickets today at ncc-golf.com.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Football Friday edition of the program. Buckeyes and Gramling here on Saturday, 3:30 kick. Mickey Joseph is the head coach of the Gramling State Tigers. He gave a very candid and, I think, very plain, honest answer of the matchup with the Buckeyes. Here was his take.
Obviously moving forward this week, so Ohio State beat Texas 14-7. I mean, just what's your initial thoughts on the defending champs?
Well, first of all, they got a great band, and we have a great band, and we're gonna compete as a band. But I'm just joking right now. We understand what we're getting into. We understand what's gonna happen. We understand it's not balance in the scholarships. It's not balance. And what they have resources wise, what we have resources wise. But we all know why we playing the game. And I spoke to the coaches today and said the game better be clean. It better be clean. And clean to me is that we don't have 9 people on the field. We don't have 13 people on the field. It's clean. We play within the system, and we swing. We swing, and we fight every play. But we know right now they're probably going to be the number 1 team in the country. It's a great opportunity. They're a well-coached football team. You don't win games like that, win a national championship on that level and not be good.
I just love it. It is what it is. And sometimes when people ask questions like that, they expect you to give some coach speak and stuff, and he doesn't. It is what it is. They know why they're playing the game. The checks are going to cash, and it's an incredible experience for their players. But the other part that he said, and this is the thing that, as I've seen a lot of teams, quite a few teams like this come into the shoe and play the Buckeyes. Before it kicks, that moment, the 15 minutes before it kicks, and even the first few series of the first quarter, their excitement level is kid at Christmas. They're so excited to play in front of 100,000 people, to play in a storied venue, to play the very best in the sport. And that juice carries all the way to kickoff, past toe meeting ball, into the first quarter usually. Usually get a little spirit in that first quarter. The part where it gets hard is into the second quarter, coming out at halftime, where it's just ramming your head against a wall over and over again and expecting a different result, and there is no different result. You have a head, and it's a brick wall. And it's one thing. That's when it gets tiresome and old and grueling for these type of teams that are just on entirely different levels. Here's Ryan Day on what it means to face Grambling.
Yeah, actually, Larry Johnson just spoke to the team and talked a little bit about, the history at Grambling. I spoke about Eddie Robinson and, talked about his experience of listening to Coach Robinson at a clinic. And after that, he realized he wanted to coach, and the impact that he made on so many people, but also the game of football. And, he and I spoke before practice, and we thought it was good for our guys to understand that. Coach Robinson and Gramling, are a big brick in, what is college football now. And the fact that there's, a lot of guys on our field that, certainly the game wouldn't be where it is right now without him and without Grambling. So I think it's important for our guys to know what's come before. We talk a lot about tradition at Ohio State, and Grambling has great tradition as well.
They certainly do. Certainly an iconic HBCU program. I love that Ryan does that. I think that's so cool to make their guys aware. Urban did that a lot, too. I know Tress probably did it. Urban did it when they would play the service academies. You play Navy. Let's have a little talk about what the guys on the other side of the field signed up for. When you play Army, you play Navy. And then you play these teams like Gramling that are coming in here. It's nice to have a little bit of history about how you got to the spot that you're in. It's going to be lopsided. It just is. There's not even line on this. We just made one up. Just made one up because they don't do lines on FCS teams. Feels like to me like it'd be 49.5. Feels like a good number for it, and that's kind of where you think this thing's going to go. We've gone over what this means from the Buckeye perspective in terms of what they need to get out of this game. But at the same time, I do think it's really cool that Ohio State and Ryan and with Larry making their guys aware of what Gramling State University is all about.
Yeah, and I do think, just to showcase those programs like Grambling, showcasing them around the country, I think it's for everyone's benefit. I think just having the team, the band, you introduce the players to the different locations and vice versa. But, Baker, I think you were saying something before the show about that line that, Bo, I think you just picked it. How much research did you do into that?
All gut. It just felt like the number. To me, it felt like 49.5. I had none. I just guessed. That's to me felt like what it would be. If I was setting it, that's what I would set it at.
So what Reese is talking about is I saw that we had it at 49.5 for when we do our picks later.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little research on that because from what I've known of Ryan Day over his history as a coach, like you said, he doesn't like to bury anyone. He doesn't like to embarrass anyone. So I started looking at how many times in the Ryan Day era would 49.5 been a line that Ohio State would have covered. And what I found was that once a year, except for the COVID year, so once a year going back to 2019, Ohio State has beaten an opponent by more than 49.5. So this Gramling game feels like the one on the schedule this year where that would happen. I also thought this was interesting, and I don't have the number exactly right now. It was either 4 or 5 times in those years Ohio State has beaten someone by exactly 49 points.
Gosh, I did us no favors.
No, you didn't, Bo.
I could have picked any. I could have gone 42. I could have gone 41.5. I could have gone 48.5.
But you stumbled us into a pretty fun predicament. That I will say.
No, I didn't look into any of that. It just, to me, it feels like if I were setting the line on it, I'd go 49.5. And it screams 56-7 to me, just screams it. And, what did I say? We beat Youngstown State 35-7 in 2023. Yeah. That was the last time that Ohio State played a 1AA. So, that happened. But it feels like 49.5 just feels like the number big.
And I thought when I was just thinking about that, because I know we couldn't find any lines, I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking 52.5. So not too far off, but
you'd be right there. Yeah. It just feels like so. Then the other thing I think is like, and this is how much time I waste on this type of stuff in my brain. But I'm thinking to myself, is Ryan Day going to kick a field goal?
I do think
Gramling,
if a situation presents itself, you need to get reps there.
Do you try to kick like a 50-yarder just to see if you can make it before half, like that type of thing?
Yes.
I mean, that's what happens in these games is you just find some things to work on. You basically use it as a practice and you find, scenarios that your team's going to be in.
Or do you get Jackson Corville, who transferred in from, what was it, Ball State?
Sure.
Or Miami, one of those two, to get a feel for what it's like kicking in the shoe.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Ryan, once the game's in hand, which should be honestly by halftime, it should be well in hand by halftime. Once that's the case, then I think even if you're up a couple of scores, they used to say, I think Ryan is on record with this too. Doesn't he say like 28? Isn't that the number he's looking for? Like if he's up 28, then you can kind of work on some things. I think you get up 28-0 or something like that. Then you're looking for, all right, let's execute a 4-minute drill. Let's execute a 2-minute drill. Let's execute a situation where we got to run the kicker on without any timeouts to kick a field goal. Like, if I'm him, that's what I would do. I would create situations for coaching moments in a game like this, because the talent gap is as big as you're going to see in all of college football this season. And so I would manufacture those circumstances.
And then put Snoop Huntley in to run the 2-minute drill.
Why do you got to do that? We were getting along so well on a Football Friday.
That was unnecessary. My bad.
I got to take strays.
How long have you been sitting on that?
Situational football. Every time I hear it now, that's what I think.
Snoop Huntley running a 2-minute drill. He did that because he liked Snoop Huntley and he wanted to get him another chance in the NFL. That's what he did. That.
Liking people gets you fired.
Also probably true. There could be some truth to that. What do we want to see from the Buckeyes when they have the ball? Well, needless to say, it'll be very different than what we saw last week against Texas, but I do think there's some work that needs to be done on this side. They know it too. They went surest way possible to win, and now they can start to open things up. We'll hear from Coach on what he expects out of his offense tomorrow coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey there, you've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt. But you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. But listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. That's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. Cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. Imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt. And you can stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. Get your all-cash offer now. Call 1-855-300-9993. Again, that's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
You won't want to miss Ohio State football in the shoe with powerhouse matchups this fall. Feel the roar of 100,000 strong. Be part of the action and cheer on the Buckeyes as they smash through to victory. There's nothing like a fall Saturday in Ohio Stadium. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab tickets, gear up, and get ready for game day.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay. How about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront costs before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Common Man here. I want to tell you about my guy, Bob Capace, owner-operator of Worthington Jewelers for the past 25 years. If your only experience is going to the mall for jewelry, Bob and his team will blow you away. Service, quality, and a great price. The store is busy all the time because people keep coming back. True story. My 8-year-old daughter says to me, "When can we go see Mr. Capace again? He's nice." Yes, he's nice. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
The regular season is here. Catch the Browns and Bengals from the land.
Let's go dominate, man. Have some fun. Here we go.
Live fan coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick at 1.
Your home for all things football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No matter where you are, Coughlin is there, in store or online. CoughlinCars.com. 13 new car brands, over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, 17 convenient locations for sales, service, and parts, plus 4 state-of-the-art collision centers. CoughlinCars.com. Shop locally owned, CoughlinCars.com.
Coughlin has the car for you. Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Man, you think about a week ago at this time, the conversation we were having. We did this segment, so the 9:45, 6-ish segment. And then the entire 10 o'clock segment was on Ohio State offense. And then the entire 12 minutes of the second hour was on last week, was on Julian Sayin. It's Julian Sayin. That was it. It was, and really, and I think I said this last week on the show, it really could be 1, 2, and 3 for us last week. All of us was how would the kid play? And anytime anybody asked me about the game last week, I said, I feel very good about it. I just want to see 10 play. I want to see what it looks like. Then I'll have a better feel about all of it. Well, here's what I can say, having seen him play. He could have handled a lot more. The moment wasn't at all too big for him. The kid throws darts. Every ball was exactly where it needed to be. And so they asked him to do what was necessary to beat the number 1 team in the country. They did. On to the next. And on to the next means now the evolution of what this offense is going to be, which I think is going to be a team that's going to throw it all over the place by the time we get to November. That starts, the building of that starts tomorrow. And Ryan Day echoes that. Here he is on wanting this offense to be a little more explosive.
Well, you don't go from 0 to 60, overnight, but, we want to, build that up. And listen, we wanted to be explosive the first game. We didn't quite happen early. We found ourselves backed up, and the game went in a different direction. But we're always looking to do that. So we're going to continue to put things on his plate and push the envelope, and go from there. So I think we just had a really good day out here in practice. I'm excited to see how it goes Saturday.
All right, there he is. That's the one on Sayin, right?
Correct.
Okay. Here's Ryan on the explosive nature of the offense.
We all want to be explosive, and we need to create more explosive plays. But when you really look at the way the game played out, when we didn't convert the 3rd and 4th down at midfield, then we get pinned inside the 10-yard line. And if we're not in those moments going to be aggressive down there, it's a long road to score a touchdown all the way down the field when you have a young quarterback where, you're pretty much trying to keep the ball in his hand for a short period of time or trying to run vertically against a team that has very good team speed going sideline to sideline. And so we found ourselves backed up a lot. One time on a 1-yard line, and when you're in those moments, you have to be very, very careful with the football. And you get a little limited in what you can do with this type of defense, with this type of quarterback, with everything going into play. Then you look at, sort of how methodically we played the game. I think we only had 4 possessions in the first half. I mean, possessions were limited. You add all those things up together, that's what you got when you have a couple early drops. We did have a penalty, and then there you go. Late in the game, we had one drive where, we on purpose wanted to eat up time. I think we ate 4 minutes off the clock, got a first down. We were really moving really slow there. So that's really what played into the game. Now, like you said, moving forward, yeah, we know we have to be more explosive. Yeah, we need to get the ball out in space and do those types of things. But that's all part of the journey with this group. And the first goal was just win the game and find a way to do it.
Isn't it hard to resist the urge. I wonder if it is for Ryan and Brian and everybody in the quarterback and the play calling conversation. It's got to be so tempting to not just say, "Hey, Jeremiah, go run a 9 first play." Like in that, you feel it like a video game. Obviously, Gramling would be prepared for that and all of those things, but like you kind of just want to see bombs over Baghdad a little bit. Like, let's just spin it around a little bit and kind of open things up. And you're going to do all of those things over the next couple of weeks because, quite honestly, you're going to need it against Washington, and you're going to need it as you get into Big Ten play. They did what they needed to win the game against Texas, which is all that matters. And now what this Buckeye offense is going to be starts really tomorrow.
Yeah, I think for not only your team, your young quarterback, but for the fans in attendance, you have all the pomp and circumstance that they tried to do last week. Well, this would be, week 2 of that experiment, and then you start out by just opening the playbook up because you keep the you keep the fans engaged that have shown up for a 3:30 kick.
Yeah.
And I think you do them a service by continuing to open up more things and to make it more of a light show, less of a football game. And then that will have, I think, the effect of giving your quarterback more confidence. Because last week was just weird to begin the game for Julian Saint, and it didn't look like it rattled him at all. And that Texas defense played really well.
Yeah,
it's a really great defense, but you also had 2 uncharacteristic drops by the player in college football, and you had a drop, a tight end who just hit him in the hands and face, and yet the quarterback was still unfazed. And so I think you build off of that by allowing him to burn it down the field this week and burn it down the field next week, because I can't imagine after 3 weeks of football, especially the opener that they have, that bye week's going to be great for this team. Like it's not a great time. You're probably going to be healthy, and that's another factor going into tomorrow's game. But then Seattle and Washington loom.
Yeah.
I think, and I understand, and they talked about it last year, shortening games because the season is going to be so long, minimizing the wear and tear. I would think that if I was Ryan Day on the coaching staff, I'm sure Ryan isn't going to open it up full throttle, right? Because he doesn't want to embarrass these guys. No. But I would open it up enough to make sure that you get Julian the proper amount of work and reps with the offense in a game experience that you want, and then you can get him out of there so he doesn't have to play in the second half.
Well, and these individual guys have goals too. I mean, you think Jeremiah...
This has to be a stat patter game.
Yeah.
This has to be.
Jeremiah, if he wants to, break the single-season record for receiving yards and those type of things, like, if you're going to do that, if he wants to track down, all-time receiving yard, he needs 4 catches for 135 and 2 scores. I mean, you need that kind of thing out there. So I think that all of those things can be done. And this is one of those games where, if you do the perfect script, you're up 42-0 at half, 42-7 at half, 35-0 at half, 35-7 at half, something like that. And you run the full complement of who you are in that first half. And then you get into that third quarter, and it's Lincoln Kienholz time. And it's Bo Jackson time. And it's Mayan Graham time. And it's that type of stuff into the third. And then in the fourth quarter, it's Tavian St. Clair time. Give that kid... You think he didn't see what Underwood did last week at Michigan? It says, I'm right there with him. Let me show you. So let those kids eat a little bit.
And if you want to throw, as Reese puts it, the bomb, that kid's got the strongest arm of all of them. He can sling it.
All 3 should have chances for the bomb tomorrow.
Yeah, let him play. Yeah, full compliment.
Because I think even for Grambling, there comes to a point in this game where you start unloading your bench.
Oh, well, that will happen just from the physical toll.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's never at the beginning. It's never the first half. When you play teams that have this wide discrepancy, it's coming out at half. It's the third and fourth quarter where it becomes absolute drudgery, and the physical toll just gets massive.
And listen, I think these Gramling kids want that. One, this is an experience for them, right? Yeah. Playing Ohio State in the shoe, but also maybe a coach at some other Power 5 school or even Ohio State says, I like that rep that kid had against Jeremiah Smith. Maybe we should look at him a little more and see if he wants to transfer to us next year.
Yeah, all that stuff's in play. Speaking of transfer, even when they try to fix something, they fail. We'll explain and get you set for week 2 in college football. Not as many headliners, but there is one game that will have my full attention. We will get you set for all of that coming up in the second hour. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
IKEA is celebrating 40 years of making home dreams possible in the U.S. Visit us in store September 3rd until the 23rd for limited time offers and experiences like our Ortianta streetwear collection, our new Tilvercod furniture, daily chances to win gift cards, and more. Come celebrate 40 years of meatball-fueled shopping, brave attempts at our Swedish names, and the inexplicable need for stylish modern design. Offer valid September 3rd through September 23rd, 2025. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary. See store and ikea.us.com for details. Restrictions apply.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. TNC Supply in-app only.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Wow, that nagging joint pain. You know the one. Sometimes it's from maybe years of hard work. Sometimes it's just an old injury that never healed right. I know I've got plenty of those. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for far too long. But that stops right now. Hey, Bobby Carpenter here, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Walkoff and his team are going to use regenerative medicine, just like I got, advanced cellular treatments that will help your body heal itself. It's going to restore the damaged tissues. It's not a cover-up for it. It's not pills. It's not scalpels. It's long-term lasting relief. So you don't have to operate your life around the pain anymore. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Just smarter and natural ways to heal your body. Make sure you bring your MRI, bring your x-rays. They'll tell you if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. So just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Or visit them at qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're a sports card fan like me, you've got to check out Midwest Cards in the Arena District, right outside Nationwide Arena. These guys are true collectors themselves, and they've built a shop that lets you experience card collecting in a whole new way. They've got sealed boxes, packs, single cards, signed memorabilia, and plenty of TVs in their lounge. Yeah, they have a lounge. And don't forget the card bar, where you can open packs while you have an adult beverage. It's awesome. Stop by Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
Script Ohio necklaces, Blocko earrings, Ohio State bangles, and more. You'll find an exclusive collection of luxury Buckeye jewelry you'll love at the Diamond Cellar, starting at $99. Show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Opening day of baseball is cool. The tournament's first weekend is amazing. Underrated sports day, the first Sunday of NFL football. So let's spend it together at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join On the Money and The Fan for a watch party for the Bengals-Browns game September 7th. Watch and place wagers on over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and oh look, little footballs. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Don't mind!
are your kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Week 1 in the NFL kicked off last night in Philadelphia. The Eagles beat the Cowboys 24-20. Philly's Jalen Carter was tossed 6 seconds into the game after spitting on Dak Prescott. There was also an hour weather delay in the third quarter. The NFL's opening weekend continues tonight in Brazil. The Chargers play the Chiefs at 8 o'clock. That Sao Paulo game will be a YouTube exclusive. On the field tonight, the high school game of the week is at Gahanna Lincoln. The Lions host Olentangy Liberty. Kickoff there, 7 o'clock. You can hear that one on the Fan with pregame coverage at 6:30. In college football, number 1 Ohio State hosts Gramling State tomorrow at 3:30. We'll have live Fan pregame coverage Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. In the Big Ten tonight, Northwestern hosts Western Illinois. Maryland has Northern Illinois. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best local credit union for the past 7 years by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Second hour here on a Football Friday. The NCAA Football Oversight Committee voted Thursday to move a single January transfer window and eliminate the spring window. So what this is going to do is it's going to open up a 10-day period, 10 days. The future of your college career has to be decided in 10 days. It's going to open January 2nd, which is a day after the college football playoff. The Division I Administrative Committee must approve the legislative change before it can take effect, blah, 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 blah. Here's the reality on this thing. The reason that they have to do it in winter is because the coaches are selfish. They are. They want these guys in place for spring. It's the whole reason that you have early enrollees, and that became a thing. And that's 20 years old now. Urban was doing that at Florida with the early enrollee thing. Why? Because they want that spring football for those guys to get in there. They're in a hurry to get these guys on campus. So that's why this transfer window has to be sometime in the December, January world. Now, if you think that somehow a January transfer window is going to preclude people from being contacted in December, you're out of your mind. Who's going to sit around until January 2nd to get contacted? Nobody. The contacting is probably taking place already, and it's going to happen all the way through December. And honestly, this period doesn't help anything from the top of the sport perspective because you're still in the middle of it. They're still hanging on to this crazy calendar with the bowl games around the 31st and 1st and still trying to make all this stuff matter and have academic integrity and all the rest of it. If they really cared about that stuff, the academic integrity and trying to keep the playoff from this being in the middle of it, just punt on the spring football part of it and just have a transfer window in May. And just say, look, this ain't perfect, but at least we know who we're coaching. Have guys go through spring football. They don't like where they are. They can hop in the portal. There's still 6 weeks to get ready for the season in the summer. It's all fine. That Ratzliff kid didn't play spring football at Tulane, and he was fine. More than fine in the opener. There's plenty of time to get guys ready. To me, like if you're going to try to hold on to whatever is left of how this sport used to be from a calendar standpoint, just forget the winter transfer portal entirely. Instead, they got rid of the spring portal, which nobody was using anyway, because, again, coaches are impatient. They want guys on campus right away. And they just shortened this to January 2nd in a 10-day period, which to me solves nothing. All the problems you had before are still going to be there with the January 2nd portal.
Yeah, I think this was it voted? Like coaches had a chance to vote on whether they wanted to push this through to the oversight committee, and I think coaches were in favor of the January window. And wasn't that what the SEC, that was that drum that they were banging on?
I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't change much.
Not really. No.
Is this the next lawsuit coming?
There will be.
Like, hey, I want to transfer schools. You can't keep me here. Like, and
Bake, you're 100% right. And here's the other thing. If a coach can leave his job at the end of November, why can't a player?
any student can pull out of school and enroll at another school.
Yeah. So this goes back to what pay them, give them contracts, then you can get control. Otherwise, all of these things are just half measures is what they are. They're not changing anything. No one's abiding by the rules in any way. Did you guys see that reporting this week about the NIL clearinghouse, how backloaded they are on approving these deals?
I mean, they moved, the movement's been like molasses.
Just can't get it done.
And how
can't
many?
Get it done. What are we doing?
Wasn't the idea for this was you would come to an agreement with a third party, and then you would go to the clearinghouse. They would approve. Then the deal could be completed.
Sure.
At this point, who's doing that? Who's waiting for the clearinghouse?
Nobody is.
And nobody should.
Captain, they're moving on. Give him the kid the money. Let's go.
I mean, the idea that the College Sports Commission thinks it's going to be able to do anything. And you just mentioned another thing the NCAA ruled on yesterday. It's going to create more lawsuits. Mm-hmm. What's Brian Seeley and that group going to do?
Nothing.
Means here comes another clown car. See how many you can fit in this one.
Yep. They're not going to do anything because they're not serious about it. They're just trying to Band-Aid hemorrhage over and over and over again. I like Ross Bjork on a lot of fronts. I have a feeling that I'm going to disagree with him on what we're going to play next. So this is from Front Office Sports Today. Our fantastic leader was on that pod and weighed in on the idea of playoff expansion.
Selfishly, Ohio State could stay at 4. We could go back to 4. In most years, probably be okay. At 12, we should be okay. We gotta keep doing our part, right? I mean, we gotta keep investing and keep coaching and keep recruiting at a high level. But I'm a believer that for the good of the game, for the health of the game, for content, for high-level matchups, we should expand. Could we go to 16? Could we go to 20? Could we go to 24? There's proposals out there to go to 28. There's been a couple other proposals to go to 32.
Well, it's like, how far do you take it? You expand, and then 2 years later, everyone wants to expand again.
So no matter what the model is, we all get hung up in these numbers, 24, 28. Oh my God, they can't do this. But here's what you cannot argue with. Nobody can argue with this. What's wrong with more high-level football? What's wrong with more meaningful postseason content? What's wrong with keeping the postseason alive for as many teams as possible?
I love the first 24 seconds.
What do numbers matter?
Stop right there.
I loved
That's it. No more.
I know it. I loved it. I loved the first 24 seconds. And when he was on with us in July, I gave him that stat that we went back 50 years, and it was like 4 times where Ohio State would not make the playoff in a 16-team field. I gave him that when he was on with us a little more than a month ago. The rest of it, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough listen because I don't think that you need 28 teams. I don't think that you need 24 teams. I don't think you need 12. I think 8 would have been the sweet spot on this thing. 4 I was fine with. I even like the old BCS. I know that we're headed here. The thing that's really tough to hear, though, of course, and he's just telling you the real truth, and so sometimes the truth hurts, is he used the word content 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah, he used it 3 times. And content is a television executive word. Okay, and that's television executives saying, you want more money from us, we need more content. I would counter, if I were Ohio State, that you don't need more content from us. You just need better content that we already have. We did $16.6 million at noon. Like, if we cut the fat from this Big Ten, we stop playing Gramling in Ohio, and we just do a super conference and stay to a 12-team. I guess you're never going to go backwards, so I'm guessing they can get to a 16-team playoff. You can do that and just do it in the super conference way, and then you're going to have all the games that you want. You're going to have all the schedule that you want. You don't need to play college football until the end of January. There's a window where it needs to be played.
The next time the Ohio State or next time Big Ten athletic directors meet, Ross just needs to point at him and says, no, we don't. Well, and he won't. But we don't need more content from Ohio State. You need better content from the rest of yous.
Rest of you.
The rest of you.
Do
Can
your
you
job.
be better, please?
Do your job.
It's funny because he's saying content 3 times. We'll ask Tim, or you could ask Tim May at 10:30. Does he prefer content or does he prefer inventory? How do you want your college football season, Tim? Because that's what this is now. And he's just echoing Tony. I mean, these are the bosses of Tony Petitti. Tony Petitti's the boss of the Big Ten. The 24, the 28, what's a number anyway? Like, this is just what they all want to have happen. And so you kind of soft. You were soft playing it. Now you're a little harder playing it.
Mm-hmm. So I understand that Ross Bjork got this job. At least I don't know this for a fact. This is my opinion, that Ross Bjork got this job because he was really good at raising money at Texas A&M and Ole Miss and the places with he's been. He was really good for the revenue of those schools. I understand that. I also totally understand when this is the line that Tony Petitti takes, because Tony Petitti is not... He should not be worried about Ohio State. He should be worried about the whole Big Ten Conference. Yeah. So I understand that. But Ross Bjork, his job is to worry about Ohio State. And what he should do is stump for what's best for Ohio State. Now, is more money what's best for Ohio State? I don't know. I'm not in that job with the specifics. I don't know all of that. You would think that more money is good. But if I'm Ross Bjork, I stop at Ohio State will be fine, whatever the motto is, and you vote for Ohio State's best interests, and then the majority, when everyone is in the room, can be what happens, but you need to stump for what's best for your program, not what's best for all of college football, not what's best for the Big Ten. Your job is what's best for Ohio State.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he can't do what would be best for Ohio State, which is cut the fat out of the Big Ten, so that you didn't have to carry those windows over and over again. That's what would be best.
Secede.
Like, let me get 6 teams out of here, and I can tell you the 6, and then let's see what we got. Now all of a sudden, you're going to have that content that you want. The other thing he did, we're up against it a little bit, so I won't have time to go expand too much on this, but the other thing he did, he floated out 20, 24, 28. You throw, in any negotiation, you throw out big numbers, and then all of a sudden 16 feels pretty good. That's what that was to me. You don't want a 16-team playoff? We're thinking about 28. Then all of a sudden on the other side, you're going, hey, man, 16, fine. Give them 16. We'll do 16.
I don't think that's the case, Bo. I totally disagree with you on that.
You think they want to go to 28? There's not enough time in the calendar.
They've proven they want the money, and that's all they care about.
There isn't enough time. There also isn't enough there aren't enough weekends to play it. My God, last year ESPN, because of contractual obligations, had to play college basketball over playoff games. They had to farm them out to TNT because they didn't have free weekends to play this stuff.
We can get rid of the bye weeks. We can make week 0, week 1. I think that's what they think. They want all of the TV shows.
Well, the content, it's king.
They do. I mean, that part's true. I just don't think anyone thinks that you need 28 teams in a college football. I mean, that's the stupidest damn thing I've ever seen. That'd be just absurd. So hopefully there's some common sense applied to that. Some big games around the country, certainly not like last week, but one that we will have all of our attention on. We will preview Boomer Sooner and Big Blue. In addition to that, the Buckeye defense against those poor Gramling Tigers. My goodness, this one's going to be pretty lopsided on that side of the matchup. We'll do it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
The football season now stretches from August to late January, and we can't afford not to be at our very best all season. Hey guys, it's Eric Reeser, and if you're like me, looking at the calendar wondering how you're going to stay at 100% for the next 5 months, do what I did, go see my friends at Hydrate Me Med Spa. I went to their Grandview location, got hooked up with a fast vitamin push that's got me feeling better than I have in years, and the NAD Plus has me thinking better too. From IV to aesthetic treatments, look great, feel great at Hydrate Me Med Spa. 4 locations, Grandview, Granville, New Albany, and Dublin. Book your appointment at hydratememedspa.com.
You're kind of hero.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tighty-whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and with football back, Rich is ready to dominate the competition. You can lease the sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $249 a month or finance with 3.99% APR. Upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Lease starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
It's Sunday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Ravens and Bills live from Buffalo. Fan coverage starts Sunday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
This afternoon, plenty of sunshine and breezy. We will see those afternoon highs soar in the mid to low 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, we'll see chances of showers and storms developing overnight, some which could be on the stronger side, so make sure to have ways to get warnings. Our lows will get down into the 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and on a Football Friday and on every day, we are proudly sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Buckeye Jewelry, it is ready to go, $99. The entry to launch point there for my great friends at Diamond Cellar. There is really outside of our game, which you don't have to be locked. This ain't Texas. You don't have to be locked in that way. We will be, because it's our job and we're looking for nuance and we're looking for how they deploy all of these things. But it's one that you should be able to enjoy the rest of your evening by the time you get to halfway through this sucker. The night game I'm locked into. I was floored by how good Bryce Underwood looked for Michigan in his first game. They played New Mexico, and the opposition was obviously lopsided, but it wasn't as bad as what it's going to be here. And the game was relatively competitive. And to me, he rose above everybody else on their roster, damn near. makes every single throw. He's a big kid, huge arm. Didn't have to scramble much in the game, but was certainly more than willing and able to. But the accuracy and the arm strength was wild. Conversely, one of the teams that I was really high on in the preseason ramp-up was Oklahoma. I can't remember if I picked them to make the playoff or just miss it. I think I had them in out of the SEC. Their schedule is absolutely brutal, but I love Johnny Mateer. I love some of the things that they did in the portal, and I think that they're going to be a team of real consequence. Those two teams play Saturday night, and that one will have my full attention, fellas.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, for both teams in both conferences that think they could be a sleeper or that they could be, a surprise entrant into the college football playoff. I don't know if this will be an eliminator, but it sure feels like it.
I think that's fair.
I'm hoping I can keep my eyes open at that point for the Oklahoma-Michigan game because it's going to be a long.
You're not going to listen to Tito and I on the post game show?
Going to be a long Friday into an early Saturday morning, and then over to the.
Why do you get an early Saturday morning?
I always have an early Saturday morning. There's money to be made, Bo. So I got other irons in the fire like you, bud. So
you got some early work on Saturday morning, Baker. You can be careful with that.
After our post-show meeting tonight, it's an early wake-up call in the morning, and then going straight to the Ohio State game. So I'm hoping my eyes are still open because I'm like you.
I think it's a good one.
Bryce Underwood, looking the part from everybody that has said that they watched him, makes me feel this Michigan-Oklahoma game is a lot closer than I thought it was previously.
Well, yeah. Now, I don't know if the rest of the Michigan stuff is going to be able to keep up, and it's much different starting in the Big House versus starting in Norman, but I think Reese makes a great point. I do think this is kind of an elimination data point for one of these teams. It's hard for me to see either one of them surviving it. I think Michigan could survive it better than Oklahoma because I still think there's enough on Michigan's schedule to where they could take the loss on the road. And, the narrative would be freshman quarterback, they grew, they're better now than they were then, blah, blah, blah. From the Oklahoma perspective, they must have this data point. They're as all in as can be. They went and got the best quarterback in the portal. They're as all in as can be, and their SEC schedule is a behemoth this year. So for them, it feels like must win. If that kid goes down there and wins, our threat level, as our friends at 11 Warriors, threat level Michigan, is 1 billion.
Oh, you go DEFCON 4.
If they go down to Oklahoma and win and that kid looks good, then it's different. We'll view Michigan differently this year because he blew me away week 1. Really did. But this is different. This is different. Reese, I can't believe you're not in. One of my favorite hoodies you have is that Sooner Schooner hoodie.
I wore it the other day, and I got to wash it for tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure you have that ready for the post.
I could wear an Oklahoma hoodie when we're talking Ohio State football on a Friday.
I think this week would be the 1 week where I think it could be granted.
I think it's pretty appropriate.
Your brother was down there, right? Go ahead, Bake. What?
I was just going to say, I think it's pretty appropriate if he wears it tomorrow while they're playing.
Yeah, it'll be on during. That's what my rooting interest will be Boomer Sooner. Yeah, my brother lives about an hour north of Norman. So
you've been to campus?
Yeah, it's nice.
Is it? I've not been to
flat Dayton. Oklahoma City just extends. It's just very flat road all the way down to Norman.
Flat Dayton.
I feel like we need a show shirt that says that, Flat Dayton. Maybe Dayton. A sticker.
We still doing the fan store?
Somebody had reached out to me about doing the bit I was doing last week was Arvell Reese is number 8. They're like, you should put that on a shirt. Arvell Reese is number 8. Like that's not
let him know.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Speaking of Arvell Reese, he was one of the breakout stars in week 1. This defense was the talking point of really all week long. I don't think it was actually talked about enough nationally. Nationally, it was all about Arch's failure. There wasn't enough chatter. Some did. Orlovsky did. Some other folks did some breakdowns in terms of that. But it didn't feel like it really got quite the credit that it deserved. Here is Ryan Day, which does give the credit it deserves to what the Buckeye defense did against the Horns last week.
Well, it's kind of like you said. I mean, if you're not going to listen when it's negative, you can't listen when it's positive. And I think that's what we have to make sure we understand. This was one game, whether we won or lost. And I think I did mention that going into the last game. It's going to give us some feedback on where we are. I think the feedback, gives us a direction to move forward with. That being said, yeah, I mean, in order for us to go reach our goals and win a championship, we're going to have to play great defense. We know that. And every year you learn more and more as a coach. But it's a tribute to our coaches, it's a tribute to the players that they were able to, play like that in the first game after losing, so many players last year. So, it's just a start. We got a lot of work to do, but it's certainly, like I said before, good to work on these things after a win. There's a lot of confidence right now. I think guys are bouncing around pretty good, but we have to continue to look at the issues, address the issues, and get better. We are in an absolute race to get better, and we're going against the best teams in the country every day at practice. That's the way we look at it. And so, again, it's a great start, but we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's one of the things that became so abundantly clear to, I think, the nation, but we had a pretty good idea, although we didn't know exactly how Patricia would deploy it. But one thing that we talked about a lot in the lead up to the game last week was that triumvirate of Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, and the combination of incredible intellect matched with absurd athleticism and size and ability to cover ground. And what it does, and if you've watched any of the breakdowns that people have done of what Patricia did defensively last week, you've seen it, and it's plainly obvious. What it does is it allows for you to be incredibly confusing to play against because you have guys who can get to space in a hurry. There was the one play where Caleb Downs started off basically lined up as a defensive end and ended up deep middle is where he ended up.
Turned his back and ran.
Just sprinted deep middle. He had deep, and it was like, man, how many people can do that? You have to have that type of athleticism, and you have to have that type of speed and versatility. And one of the stars, obviously, was Arvell Reese. We warned you that he was going to be a real one. He was. Here he is on the versatility of that defense.
I think it's just a lot more versatile. We're doing a lot of different fronts and just different stuff. I think it suits us well. We got a bunch of guys who can play a bunch of different roles, so I think it suits us well. I just like how versatile it is. We can switch it up, different drives. I like that.
Yeah, they're going to be terrifying.
And I think that's the key, and we talked about that. It's awesome for Patricia to have these schemes and concepts. He can't run them, though, if he doesn't have the guys, one, that are smart enough to be able to make sure they're doing exactly what they're supposed to, and two, the guys that already have that versatility. As Sonny Styles, who was a safety, is now a linebacker. Those guys, C.J. Hicks, who's a defensive end now, who was a linebacker. You got to have those guys that are athletic enough to be able to be moved around the chessboard like that.
Yeah. If you don't have the body type and the ability, there's no chance, Reese.
I think the obvious thing is win the turnover battle from every game, but I also want to see that penalty battle be won again. Last week was so clean for the Silver Bullets, and I think that's to be able to, if they could, pitch a shutout in terms of penalties tomorrow against Ohio, leading into that game against Washington, I think would do so much for everybody's confidence. I mean, this already seems, and you heard it from Arvell Reese, they're a confident bunch. But for them to be able to, and a lot of times last year in key situations, it was some really dumb mistakes, some really bad penalties. And if you can avoid doing those in gimme games, I think it only sets you up better in games to come this season.
Would agree with that. Tim May in 2 minutes, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Right now in Washington, there's a fight going on to make life more affordable and bring back American jobs. Some play politics and some want to get things done. Senator John Husted is cutting through the noise, putting Ohio first. The new tax bill delivers for working families and helps small businesses hire and grow right here in Ohio. Tell John Husted, keep fighting for Ohio families and small businesses. Paid for by Senate Opportunity Fund.
Opening day of baseball's cool. The tournament's first weekend is amazing. Underrated sports day, the first Sunday of NFL football. So let's spend it together at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join On the Money and The Fan for a watch party for the Bengals-Browns game September 7th. Watch and place wagers on over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and oh look, little footballs. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original, athlete, and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh, behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. It's a Friday, 10:30. Time for Tim May, the Tim May Show, fanstreamsports.com, and, of course, the Fan Tailgate Show with AR and Bids. That's tomorrow, of course, just outside St. John Arena. Buddy, it is good to talk to you as always. Let me just ask you this. They're talking Ross Bjork.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
You're getting right down to business. This must be serious. I'm sitting here with on the fifth hole of our golf match, me and Moose, and I always like these holes when you call me because I get an automatic par. Go ahead now.
What course?
Rolling Meadows out here near Marysville.
Oh, my gosh. Who's winning?
Dylan Davis from Delaware Gazette. Me, him, Moose, and a guy named Mick. I never met. He could tell me he's Mick Jagger. I wouldn't know the difference.
Well, you would because you're aware.
Definitely would. Yeah. And he ain't. Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he probably ain't. We played you were probably on hole number 3. We played a clip from Ross Bjork talking about expanding the playoff potentially to 20 or 24, 28. And he used the word content 3 times to describe football games. We've also used the word inventory. I know you hate both. Which do you hate the most, content or inventory?
I hate inventory most, only because it just sounds like you're in a store and you're picking out. The networks are picking out what they want to buy and what they want to pay you for it, and really they probably ought to be paying you more. But this is here's what I will say about this: it's not a slam on Ross Bjork. I mean, he's dealing with the hand he's been dealt.
Yep.
Right. All these guys are, and now it's like they have been charged with going out, meaning assigned to go out and make more money, and we all know this. What Ohio State got? $4 million for its $4 million for the opening round last year in the college football playoff. I think maybe 4 for the next round, 6, and then maybe 8. I think it added up to 20, but of course that was split 18 ways, right? But they do get $3 million, I think, every stop for expenses. I don't know what they got. I should have asked that. I don't know what they got for hosting a game last year. But the bottom line is you got to make the money now, man. I mean, and if you can make the money just in extra appearances, via your football team that will pay for just its revenue sharing aspect of things, you're getting out ahead, right? So I understand it all now. I don't like the aspect of calling it inventory, but the bottom line is that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they got to find money. That's what he's tasked to do. He's got to find money that wasn't that they didn't know existed, and so that's what they're trying to do in those things.
What they're finding is something that people will pay for.
You hit on something. I did a whole segment on this earlier in the week. You're doing $16.6 million. You're not getting paid enough, is the reality. And that the television, the NBA gets $140 million a team. Now they're not splitting it with Rutgers and Purdue and Indiana. They're splitting it with the 32 best teams in that play professional basketball in the world. So if the Big Ten and the SEC actually got together and negotiated together and pick the 60 teams or 48 or whatever they want the number to be, that number per team would double is what I think would happen. I think instead of getting 75, 80 million a program, you'd be getting 160 a program.
Yeah, but you know what, Bo, and I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here. We've been talking about this for 40 years, 50 years.
Certainly for 15,
of where they could go. We've definitely been talking about it ever since deregulation of televised college athletics. And, it's funny. It's like a glacier that's watching this thing work is like a glacier that all of a sudden has global warming, and then all of a sudden it freezes again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it moves, and now you're talking about 2018 playoff that was floated by somebody in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, you haven't even played 12 twice, right? And you haven't even gotten to 16, and you're these grandiose ideas. I mean, yeah, here's the thing. Somebody does need to be looking toward the future of where this thing can go. But, you don't want to dilute the product either. You don't want to make first-round games meaningless also. If you stack them in terms of seeding, you don't want one playing 28 or 32. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You don't want crappy inventory.
Buddy, I don't think you can go beyond the NFL. And the NFL's at 14. If you want to do 16 to eliminate the buys, fine. But that's it.
But what you do with the regular season, see, that's the thing. And
you
then
move it back. You get rid of conference championship games. That's what you do.
People's regular seasons in major college football are never going to be equal. You can't put together really two equal schedules. And
never.
You could if you had a magic wand, but we're not talking about magic wands here. We're talking about wanderers, and they just want to get theirs. And so, Texas Ohio State for the season opener was unbelievable, and it was box office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that whenever you're going to all these other things. I'm talking not you, but the movers and shakers.
No, for sure. That's the needle they're trying to thread, and it's going to become an increasingly difficult one. Look, this was this game Saturday was just a fun one. It was just really cool. In the end, it's kind of a Super Bowl showcase is what it is, because it's a nice metric to have for Ohio State. It doesn't bury Texas in any way. What was your biggest takeaway from what you saw Saturday?
That Ohio State once again showed, and this is under Ryan Day. I remember the Notre Dame game where they didn't quit, right?
Yeah.
And they won that game. I'm talking about the Lou Holtz, Ryan Day slamming Lou Holtz game. They didn't quit. I mean, that's the symbol of this team. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, you can't take the Michigan games out of it, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take Michigan out of it. Even the Oregon loss last year was down to the wire. This team doesn't quit. And, if you look just at the stats, like a lot of idiots do, and you go, well, Texas outplayed them. Well, maybe to a certain extent from a total stat situation. But I always say this is trivial, but or cliche, the biggest stat is the final score.
Yeah.
After that, everything else is just for argument. And but I just like the way they played. And then, of course, the last play, I forgot who got their hands on. Was it Caden Curry? But whoever got their hands.
C.J. Hicks.
Yeah, C.J. Hicks. Exactly. C.J. Hicks. Boy,
5-star. We kept waiting, and boy, did he have a moment.
You move him to the edge, and what does he do? Delivers basically the play, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, Caleb Downs is on the tight end and tackles him, and that's the end of the game, the best defensive player in college football. So it still was down to the wire, and Ohio State made the plays when it had to win that game at the goal line, Igbinosun in the corner of the end zone, and then the last play of the game, because Texas had found some things there in that fourth quarter, and Arch was feeling it. You could see that. But, great teams, when you go against another great team, you just got to outscore them. You got to figure out a way to outscore them. You got to make plays when it matters, and they did.
One of the things that was, and obviously the main topic of discussion was Patricia and the defense and all of that, but one of the things that I noticed Saturday, and I tweeted as much, and then Ryan Day said as much post-game, I thought Julian was exemplary. I thought he could have handled a lot more than they gave him, Tim. I thought 9 out of 9 were on the screws, as accurate as could be, first 9 throws. He really didn't have one that I would say he would want back. He probably would like that read to Jeremiah back, but even on that play, he hits Max Clare in the hands for the first down. I don't know what more you could ask for the kid. I thought first start, number 1 team in the country, Tim, that's about as good as it gets. And it wasn't talked about enough.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. It's kind of like Ryan Day even said after the game, that, like you said, he could have handled more, but it's kind of like the first day on his job, and you got to just see, hey, well, what's this guy all about? And you find out he completes the task you put in front of him, lickety split, and sitting there with his arms crossed, like, what's next? You didn't have anything else next for him.
That's right.
And you
That's
could go home early. I mean, that was kind of what it reminded me. Now, with Gramling, you should not feel, dude, there are mismatches. Well, you know that. There are mismatches all across the field on Saturday, you should not feel limited by anything you want to pull out of the playbook. I thought they did a masterful job in giving him stuff he could handle, and then he handled it. And just the poise he had, because there was pressure on him at times. I mean, meaning in his face, people coming after him. He just kind of dodged a couple, but the other, he just kept his poise. And, man, you know this. You've been around almost, half as long as I have. I mean, that's what you're looking for in a quarterback is the guy that and you can't measure that until you're in the arena. And I thought he passed that test with flying colors.
I'll get you out of here on this one, and I'm going to lean on your age and your experience and where you grew up.
Uh-oh.
Your first memories of Eddie Robinson and Grambling and what that all represents.
Well, first thing, when I was a little kid, there was the AFL, right? And the NFL. And, of course, the AFL came along after I was born, but still. And I marveled at the guys like a Curly Culp and guys like this, just unbelievable football players when they played for Kansas City and in the AFL. And then eventually the NFL became more integrated. I mean, it wasn't fully integrated. Thank goodness for guys like Bill Willis, et cetera. Thank goodness for a guy like Paul Brown to bring Bill Willis to the Browns way back in the AAFC. But I digress. The bottom line is it was really good football, and one of the reasons was they were getting a lot of players out of this little small school in North Louisiana called Gramling, and Eddie Robinson. I just remember seeing. It's funny how things weren't totally integrated, but they still, like a Shreveport station, which we could pick up in Lufkin, Texas, and stuff. They would still have interviews with Eddie Robinson and stuff. He just struck you as a guy who knew what the hell he was doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's the best way of putting it. And then he spoke. When he spoke, there was there was philosophy always involved. You know, I retweeted a video of him talking to his team going into a big-time one-sided matchup like they're going into this week. And just about how he said, you get yourself ready. If you guys weren't ready, won't play. You know what I mean? Type thing. And go up there and have pride in what you're doing and stuff. And that's the main thing. You gotta remember, he coached football and basketball for a long time. I mean, he had it going on down there. But I just remember the best thing you can say about him is everything else. He was a damn winner, man. And I've always said this, Bo. If there'd been total integration, if things had been fair from the get-go, who would we be talking about the most right about now? Would it have been Eddie Robinson or Bear Bryant? You follow my drift? Because I do. Alabama would have been taking African American players all along, but hey, you know what? Eddie Robinson might have been the coach at Alabama. Yeah. So that's the point. You can't do anything about history except repeat it, but repeat it in the right ways. And so you've impressed me always, and turned out big time. More than anything else, turned out big time NFL football players.
Yeah, good stuff as always, buddy. Hit them straight the rest of the way.
You got it, brother. I will. I will do that right now. I will change everything and do that right now.
There he goes. Tim May, the Tim May Show on thefanstreamsports.com. And, of course, tomorrow on the Fan Tailgate Show with AR and Bids. That's at noon right here on the Fan. Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
No matter where you are, Coughlin is there, in store or online.
Coughlin Cars
13 new car brands, over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, 17 convenient locations for sales, service, and parts, plus 4 state-of-the-art collision centers. CoglinCars.com. Shop locally owned CoglinCars.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
Relationship benefits at KeyBank reward you for things you were going to do anyway, like using your KeyBank checking account 5 times each month. You could unlock higher interest rates, more cash back, and loan discounts. Now, imagine getting rewarded for other things you were going to do anyway, like high-fiving. Yes. Calling your mom. Hello. Or petting cute dogs. If only. Learn how simple it is to get benefits when opening a checking account at key.com/relationship. KeyBank opens doors. All credit products subject to credit approval. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
It's Monday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Vikings and Bears live from Chicago. Fan coverage starts Monday at 8.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Game on, week number 1. It starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. It's not just football, it's first-time touchdown fireworks, anytime TD rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Your season, it starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971 to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a football Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I think it was yesterday some idiot said the San Francisco 49ers were going to win the NFC West. That was me who said that.
Might have been 2 of us.
Okay, yeah, 2 dummies. On Thursday, Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters Christian McCaffrey was limited in practice due to a calf injury. An Achilles injury caused him to miss 8 games in 2024. They play at Seattle Sunday at 4:05. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's a massive thing, obviously, and it does feel like, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but when you hear somebody say calf injury, I just get back to Halliburton, and it almost feels like Achilles is next. Like the next time out, they're getting an Achilles. I mean, whether it's Durant or Halliburton, and so this screams that, obviously. So that's a problem. Here's the reason, though, it's not as big a thing as it's been in years past. They have Brian Robinson now, and they can ride him be as patient as you want to be with McCaffrey. And my hunch is they probably knew that this was in play at the time they acquired Brian Robinson. So they can run Brian Robinson they could run with him for the first 8 weeks and just slow play McCaffrey easily. They could put McCaffrey on the short-term IR for 4 games, and he could be fine coming back. So, in a way, it's a massive thing, big picture. But on a more micro level, because of the Robinson acquisition, they're fine. They're fine.
You just nailed it, Bo. I mean,
I like that we have a bell now. That's nice.
We said this right when they made the trade for Brian Robinson. It's like, man, that's a great move. But could this mean something's going on with Christian McCaffrey and his recovery and how he will be this year? So it is a thing, obviously. And, I mean, Christian McCaffrey has got to be teetering on the edge of this being it for him as he's getting a little older and all these injuries pile up. I don't think that this is a big a deal, though, now because of this Brian Robinson trade. Yeah. And I still wonder, with all of that, who's going to run the football for the Washington Commanders this year?
They must know something. There's got to be somebody. One of those kids must have popped. We'll see which one. But one of them must have, because to move off of Robinson, they had to love who they have in that room.
Sometime this week, Amari Cooper told the Raiders he was retiring. It was reported yesterday afternoon. The 31-year-old Cooper, who signed a 1-year deal on August 26th, would be hanging up the cleats. The 5-time Pro Bowl receiver cited a loss of desire to play after struggling in practices. Over his 10-year career, Cooper recorded 711 receptions, 10,000 yards, and 64 touchdowns. Thing or not a thing?
It's what's so strange about this is how Amari fell off the cliff. I mean, he was the one who benefited from Flacco more than anybody else in the 2023 season. He broke the Josh Gordon receiving yardage record with the franchise, had one of the great seasons. He makes the Pro Bowl again, like all of those things, and then fell off a cliff last year with the Browns. I thought when the Bills acquired him that he would be like the number 1 receiver. That never happened. So obviously it just wasn't there for him physically anymore. But it's wild how guys can just lose a step in like one off season.
Yeah, this is kind of an out of nowhere thing to me. It was crazy to me that it didn't work out with the Bills. Mm-hmm. It was crazy to me that this offseason it took so long for him to get signed on with the team. And now he's retiring at just 31 years of age.
Yeah.
It's crazy because the last time, to me, we really saw him, I guess, we did see him with the Bills, but that season with the Browns, he was so good. Mm-hmm. And I even brought it up a couple weeks ago, like, hey, why don't the Browns try to rekindle some of that Flacco magic with Amari this year? Let's bring him in. The receiving core is kind of thin behind Jerry Jeudy. But and maybe this has been something that's going on in his head for a while. Maybe he's been thinking about retiring, and that's part of the reason for the slip. Dana White always says when a guy starts questioning it, he should go because that's really what's in his heart. And maybe that was what is in his heart. He just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, his last 3 games with Flacco, 7 for 77, 4 for 109, 11 for 265. Those last 3 games of 2023.
A couple of places had the report yesterday that North Carolina head coach Bill Belichick has banned New England Patriots scouts from Tar Heels practices. Patriots attempted to send a member of the scouting department to visit UNC in August, but UNC told the Patriots they were not permitted to attend. A scout from a different NFL team told The Athletic, "It's so petty." According to a league source, the Patriots had planned to send a scout who was a graduate from NC State. The scout thought that was going to be the reason North Carolina wouldn't allow him to attend practice, but North Carolina source confirmed to The Athletic that Belichick's history with the Patriots led to his policy. Other teams have been allowed to scout North Carolina practices. However, the Tar Heels have increased restrictions on scouts since Belichick arrived in Chapel Hill. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's a petty thing. Isn't that the line in here? It's so petty. It's just, and it's a disservice to his program, and it's a disservice to his kids that you don't allow scouts in. There's no win other than just this nonsense. Like, this is going... I don't know. I'll be very curious if this is, and I don't mean for Urban to catch strays here, but this feels a lot like when Urban went to the Jaguars. And he just didn't know how the sport was done. And that's what I come to with Belichick. Like, I just don't think he understands what college football is all about. And this is another example of it. Just petty nonsense.
It sure seems like the Bill Belichick-Patriots relationship, to me, we got to go way back, started to crack when Bill wanted to move on from Tom.
Yep.
And go to Jimmy G, and Robert Kraft said, nope, not so fast, my friend. Tom's my guy. We're going to keep him. And it just seems like it is steadily since then gone downhill. Man, as that scout said, how petty this is. It is very petty. But this stuff that Belichick's doing, like the too deep that wasn't filled out for the media and all that stuff's not going to fly. And it's definitely not going to fly if you lose football games.
No, you get bombed at home. No, it's just all bad. And my hunch is there's incredible bitterness from Bob Kraft because he's saying, I chose you over Brady. And then I watched Brady win another Super Bowl. Like, I'm guessing that's where the bitterness comes from. All right, final hour on a Football Friday. We'll know the scores first. We did a nice job last week, Bake. Let's see if we can stack it again this week. That's coming up next. Doug Les Maurice coming up at 11:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is the Cincinnati Reds Down on the Farm Minor League Report, brought to you by Western and Southern Financial Group. This week, we take a look at a couple of 2025 draft picks making some noise. Less than 2 months after the draft, Mason Neville and Kian Vu are already making an impact with single-A Daytona. Neville was selected out of high school in the 18th round by the Reds in 2022, but elected to go to college. 3 years later, the Reds took the NCAA Division I home home run leader in round 4. Heading into this weekend, Neville had appeared in 14 games with Daytona. The Henderson, Nevada native was hitting at a .348 clip with 6 doubles and 7 RBIs, 3 of which came via his first career professional home run on August 20th. 5 rounds after Neville, the Reds selected Vu in the 9th round. Through 14 games, the former Arizona Sun Devil had 6 doubles, 9 RBIs, and was a perfect 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts. He notched his first career professional homer the day after Neville. We also have a couple of honors to recognize this week. On Monday, it was announced that infielder Carter Graham was named Midwest League Player of the Week for his efforts last week in Dayton, and catcher Alfredo Duno was named Florida State League Player of the Week for his efforts with Daytona. The Down on the Farm Minor League Report is brought to you by Western and Southern Financial Group, with their financial strength behind you. Visit westernsouthern.com.
Looking to get your roof or siding replaced this fall? Call the company that delivers an excellent customer experience every time. Newman Roofing. Don't wait. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. It's week 3 of the high school football season, and the defending state champs are still looking for their first win on the year. Olentangy Liberties at Gahanna Lincoln tonight at 7. You can hear that one on the Fan with coverage at 6:30. Elsewhere in Central Ohio is the Battle of Pickerington. Central hosts North at 7. Tickets to that game reportedly sold out this morning in about 10 minutes. Later tonight, Ryan Baker and Lee Cochran will have post-game reaction on high school overtime. Here in the NFL, week 1 continues tonight in Brazil. The Chargers play the Chiefs Friday at 8. The regular season kicked off last night in Philadelphia. The Eagles beat the Cowboys 24-20. And college football, number 1 Ohio State hosts Gramling State tomorrow at 3:30. It's the first meeting on the field between the two schools. Buckeyes will host Ohio University next Saturday at 7 o'clock. We'll have live Buckeye Fan pregame coverage tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Ohio State's campus, live on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Let's see. High school, Buckeyes, Browns, kids in the retention pond. It must be Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Football is good. The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Football Friday. Time to know the scores. Hit it, Reese.
It's time for Know the Scores on Bishop and Friends.
All right, as you said before we went to that last commercial break, really good week 1 for both of you. College football scores, Bo 7-4, Baker 8-3.
Let's go. That's better than 1-10 my one time last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Forgot about that.
I'll tell you what, you start this way, you can make a little hay here, kids. And we always pick 10, the 10 games that are most interesting to us this weekend, and the Buckeye game, all of them against the number all season long. That's the job.
And Baker going 8-3 last week allows you to be 1-10 maybe in a week or two, but then bounce back from that.
No, let's not talk like no.
I mean, you can still take a loss and make the college football playoff.
No.
It's in front of you.
Like
it's inventory, babe. Content and inventory.
Making TV shows. You're making radio shows here.
Tomorrow at noon, Penn State, the second-ranked Nittany Lions, host FIU. Florida International is a 42.5-point road dog. Bo.
Listen, FIU is coached by Willie Simmons, former Clemson quarterback, played 1 year at the Citadel, and was a longtime coach at Florida A&M. James Shanks High School, Quincy, Florida, the pride of there. I think they're going to be game, and knowing Franklin, I just think it's the hook that brings you back. So I like Penn State winning again, but I got Penn State winning 42-17. So I'll take, I got the Panthers in this one.
Oh, I mean, that has nothing to do with the hook. You're going way closer than the hook
I think
right
it'll be
there.
A little frisky.
I truly believe the hook is the difference in this one. I've got Penn State 49, FIU 7.
We'll go to Durham next tomorrow at noon. Number 11, Illinois is a 2.5-point road favorite at Duke, Baker.
So I feel like Illinois is definitely the better team in this one. I feel like they should win, but I don't know if Illinois, kind of like last year, the games are usually close. I think Duke with Mensa has enough to keep this one close, but not close enough to cover the spread. I've got Illinois 27, Duke 21.
All right, you guys know how I feel about Illinois football. I am going to treat this Illinois score like Pedro Serrano treated his bats and Joe Boo. If you don't come through for me right now, Illinois, then blank you. Illini 20, Duke 17.
Illini fans might need a lot of rum to get them through that if it's going to be that close against Duke.
They better do it. I'm hearing about it. Yapping, yap. Handle your business.
At noon tomorrow in Ames, nobody's going to confuse Iowa State for Ohio State. Just don't tell Jamie Pollard that. The Cyclones, ranked number 6 team in the country, are 3.5-point home favorites, hosting Iowa in what's wonderfully known as El Assico.
I don't know. Do people in Iowa call it that?
No, certainly they don't.
That's crazy.
Lovingly known as El Assico outside of the Hawkeye State.
Yeah, in honor of the great Chops, I'll be damned if I'm going against the Hawkeyes. I like Iowa. I like Iowa winning outright. Give me Ferentz and the boys outright in this one. It's gross because it always is between these two teams. So give me Iowa 8, Iowa State 7.
Oh, I like that. There's two things I know about these games between these two teams. They are always close, and they are always low scoring.
They're gross.
I'm going the other way, Bo, though. I've got Iowa covering, but Iowa State winning 21-20.
So we call that
shootout.
Same, but different. That would be a shootout. 21-20. You're right, Reese, in that game.
At noon tomorrow in Dallas, number 17 SMU is a 2.5-point home favorite, hosting Baylor on the CW Network, Baker.
This one I am deeming the Bo Bishop Bowl, as his beloved ponies and his Baylor Bears that he loves so much in the Big 12 this season. I think this is going to be an offensive game. I think it's going to be close. I'm going the ponies to win and to cover. Mustangs 35, Bears 31.
Yeah, I see it similarly to you. This will be a fun game. This is noon. Is that what you said? This would be a fun one to have kind of on the background. I think it's even more. I like SMU winning. I'm going to go SMU 45, Baylor 42. By the way, though, the Baylor pick would not be cooked. They can still win the Big 12. Even starting 0-2, they can still win the Big 12 and get in.
At 3:30 in the birthplace of college football, Rutgers is a 15.5-point home favorite, hosting Miami of Ohio.
How about that kid that we liked? Was it Daquan Finn? Was that the kid from Toledo?
Yeah.
Who went to like Texas Tech or someplace and then ended up back at Miami? Somehow, I don't know who Miami played last week, but I ended up watching a little bit of it and seeing him play.
It was Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah, I just think it's too much. I mean, the Fighting Bobcats almost sprung the upset. So I like Miami, Ohio going in there and keeping it interesting. Rutgers gets the win, but I think it's similar to the game last week. Give me Rutgers 30, Miami 21.
So, Bo, I'm with you on this. It's just 17-0. Wisconsin beat Miami last week. I don't know if that's more of an indictment on the Red Hawks or the Badgers in that one. But OU kept it close with Rutgers. 34-31 was the final. Now, Reese, nobody is saying that the Red Hawks are the Bobcats.
No, and you shouldn't.
But 15.5 is a little much right here. Rutgers 27, Miami 17.
3:30 in Eugene, number 6 Oregon's a 27.5-point favorite, hosting Oklahoma State on CBS. Baker.
I think that this game is going to be fun. And there's a lot of me that wants Dan Lanning to make this like 60-3 because of all the back and forth that happened this week. But I don't think that will happen. I think they will win, but this number's a little too big. Oregon 45, Oklahoma State 23.
Yeah, is this like how far it's fallen for Oklahoma State that they're nearly 4 touchdown dogs in Eugene? That's such a massive number. It's hard for me to think that they won't be more competitive than that. I see it similarly how you do, and I still think it can be a blowout. I mean, 49 21 is a blowout. Does that get it done? What is it? 27
and a half.
All right, 49-24 will get it done. 49-24.
3:30 in Lexington. Number 20, Ole Miss is an 8.5-point road favorite at Kentucky, Bo.
This is just one of those games that Stoops keeps competitively. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kentucky wins it. I know a lot of people at Ole Miss are excited about Austin Simmons, and you should be. He's a nice player, lefty. He can spin it. But this just seems like too much for Kentucky at home. I like Ole Miss winning a gross game, but it would not surprise me at all if Kentucky won this game. I like Ole Miss winning 24-21.
I feel like so many of these numbers this week of these games that we are picking are so spot on that it is unreal. Kentucky keeps it close at home. They cover. Ole Miss wins 34-27.
All right, we'll go to the night games on NBC, not Peacock, just NBC. Boston College is at Michigan State. The Spartans are a 3.5-point home favorite, Baker.
I like this game a lot. I like these two teams playing each other. I hope Bill O'Brien gets Boston College back to some respectability and one of those teams that's 8-4, 9-3 every year in college football. Michigan State's at home, though. I think they do cover this. Not by much, though. Michigan State 27, Boston College 21.
Yeah, I like Aiden Childs. I like Jonathan Smith. I think they get another nice win, and I think it's Cover City as well. Give me the Spartans.
7:30 in Mississippi. Mississippi State is a 5.5-point home dog, hosting number 12 Arizona State.
What the hell does this tell you about Mississippi State's the worst team in the SEC? It's kind of known. Like they're the worst team in the SEC, right? And they're only giving 5.5 to the number 12 team in the country. Last year, this game looked a little bit more competitive than it was. Clay Hall, I love you. If you're driving around, please don't hold this against me. Give me Arizona State rolling into the Deep South and getting a dub in Starkville, 31-17.
Gosh, we are so similar on some of these picks. Arizona State 34, Mississippi State 20.
Game of the week for week 2 of the college football season's in Norman. Number 18, Oklahoma, is a 5.5-point home favorite, hosting number 15, Michigan. Baker.
If we were picking this game last week, my score would be much different than it is this week. I really feel like this is going to be a defensive football game, so that probably means it's going to be a shootout. There's no way, right? No way this is a shootout.
No,
I think Oklahoma...
Mateer could sling it.
I think Oklahoma covers. Not by much, though. Sooners 24, Wolverines 17.
Yeah, it's crazy. You and I, we may have gone lockstep on almost every one of these, Bake, which is usually a sign of failure. If it's a sign of success, folks, then just put your kids through college and follow us all year long. But I kind of see this the way you do. Michigan, without their best defensive player for a half on objectively what's a nonsense targeting call is a big one. I think Oklahoma, I think this is just a little too much for Underwood, and I think Oklahoma does take care of business. I'm with you. I think it's 7-ish at most. I'm going to go Sooners 31, Michigan 21. So same, but slightly different.
Well, of course, we'll have the 3:30 kick between Gramling State and number 1 Ohio State picked at the end of the program. Bo has the Buckeyes 49.5-point favorites there.
The Bo Bishop Sportsbook.
It's my own sportsbook. I got friends in Youngstown that help me. We'll get you set for week 1. We have a Battle of Ohio in the NFL. The Browns and the Bengals do battle up in Cleveland on Sunday. Get you set for that one. And then Doug Les Maurice coming up in about 17 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save up to $30 on auto repair with the AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through September 30th. See store for details.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Back to work, school, it's all happening. It's real life. Routine shouldn't be a bad word. How about winning rhythm? Losing weight every week with Awaken 180 and looking forward each day in every weigh-in. Fast results online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Remember when sports used to be about calling up your favorite host and saying how stupid they are? Good news. We still do that. The Fan Calling Show.
Hello. Sponsored by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino.
Sunday mornings at 8 on The Fan.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
The Ohio Lottery's new $5 scratch-off Win Big has a top prize of $100,000. And with the Ohio Lottery app, all non-winning tickets can be entered into a My Lotto Rewards second chance promotion to win Cleveland or Cincinnati football tickets or even a trip to football's biggest game. And that's more exhilarating than a cooler of sports drink dumped on you. So exhilarating. Win big from the Ohio Lottery. A celebration waiting to happen. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
This afternoon, plenty of sunshine and breezy. We will see those afternoon highs soar in the mid to low 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, we'll see chances of showers and storms developing overnight, some which could be on the stronger side, so make sure to have ways to get warnings. Our lows will get down into the 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. The best hair on the air. You were listening to Bishop and Friends.
And the Capital Florida Columbus High School Game of the Week takes us to Gahanna Friday. That's tonight. Lions host defending Division I state champion Liberty. Coverage starts 6:30. The kickoff at 7. After the game, it's Byers, Dublin, Subaru overtime with Bake and Lee Cochran. Friday nights of our high school football right here on The Fan. Also, NFL football this Sunday. Battle of Ohio. Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals. This NFL thing really snuck up on us. Game last night, game tonight, and away we go. These two teams, it's so interesting the spot they're both in. And obviously, everything Cincinnati has done this summer was leading to this point. And yes, I do mean the opener. Because they look back on last year and they say that loss week 1 in against New England at home, that cost us the postseason. And if we'd gotten in the postseason, who knows what would have happened? Maybe it was our year. I know this. Nobody wanted to play that team had they gotten into the postseason. So there's a sense of urgency. I think that we had Ben Baby on, I think Thursday or Wednesday, and I asked him about the pressure that the Bengals were under in week one. And he agreed that it was the most pressure-packed situation in the entire league. So managing that will be very key for them up there. Here is Zach Taylor on the sense of urgency the Bengals have heading into week one.
Well, now, we've been practicing hard. We've been focused on all the details, but now it's game week. And so we can't let anything slip here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got to be on top of everything, and it's a really focused team right now. There's an urgency that's ramped up, and I'm excited as I see that and anticipate feeling it in practice and get these guys, get them ready to go, get themselves ready to go. Coaches are ready to go. So, and it's upon us now, and we're excited about it.
Joe Burrow was one of the catalysts for all of this. All the way back at the end of the season, he made his opinions abundantly known. I think it was Super Bowl week, made his opinions abundantly known that it was not just thanks a lot for the money and thanks for doing Chase, but I need Higgins and Hendrickson too. The front office did all of it. Now Burrow is the first one to say it's now on the players.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. We've been put in the right position. We have the guys out there that we need to go and achieve our goals. Now that all that is behind us and we're moving forward, and now it's our time to go perform on the field and be productive.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that's always fun about this matchup is the strength versus strength. That Bengals offense against that Cleveland Browns defense, which is, of course, led by Myles Garrett. He missed practice yesterday with a hip. The feeling is that it is nothing serious for Myles Garrett on that side of things, but obviously when these two are in a game, attention will be on them. Here is Burrow on the idea of facing Myles.
Yeah, he can win the game if you let him. You have to, number one, game plan around him. Number two, as a quarterback, you have to be aware of where he's at all times with protection IDs, and also know where your quick answer is in whatever concept that you have called, because sometimes he's back there before you can catch the ball, basically, and you have to get it out. So, but we play great rushers a lot. He's one of the best, if not the best. But in this division, you play guys like that a lot. So we'll have a good plan for him. He's going to make plays, and when he does, you just got to hold on to the ball and not make a bad play worse.
So that is the strength versus strength. The other side is likely where this thing will be decided, where this Cleveland offense, which what it was intended to be, is very different than what it actually is. The intent was Quinshon Judkins, battering ram, Kenny Pickett, don't throw it to the other team, control the clock, control the ball, take the air out of the ball for the opposing offenses and try to grind out wins. Well, that's not the case. Kenny Pickett's backing up in Las Vegas. Quinshon Judkins is still not on the team, does not have a contract, so that continues to float over him. And instead you have Joe Flacco, who is... It was crazy. He was the only quarterback who got through their entire camp healthy, and he looked great. And guess what? Joe's always going to look great throwing the ball. And so with Joe Flacco at quarterback, it's a very different approach for Cleveland. Without Quinshon Judkins, they don't have that battering ram. Isaiah Bond, paratroops out of nowhere as kind of a deep threat. It's basically a free second-round pick is what they get. He does have some weapons to throw with Fannin and Njoku, and Jerry Jeudy certainly on the outside as well. And watch out for Isaiah Bond. Even in week one, I think that they'll have a big plan for him because he's a big-time weapon. Here is Joe Flacco on starting. Let's go with how he feels going into the season.
I feel good. I think it's just, the constant reminders of just, play your role, do your part. That this is a team game, and it's about, all of us going out there and preparing to do our job the right way. Getting through training camp and getting ready to go into this opener, I feel good. But, hey, I think everybody usually feels pretty good. Even if they've had a hard training camp, everybody feels pretty good heading into week one. So, it's just it's a matter of realizing that this may be the last time you feel 100% and kind of just going in there with an open mind and having a lot of fun.
If a team was made up of the Bengals offense and the Browns defense, does it win the Super Bowl? And by how much?
Well, it certainly competes. I mean, that right likely gets you into the AFC Championship game, probably playing Mahomes or Josh Allen. And if you're in the Super Bowl, like you could theoretically, with that team you've just put together, boat race a lot of teams in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. I guess what we have to do with both of these teams is, because we haven't done this yet, we have to assign the standard we're going to judge them by. Let's start with Cincinnati. What is the minimum requirement for the Cincinnati Bengals this season?
Making the playoffs. You must make the postseason. and it doesn't matter how you do it. Like Sunday's game, you just win. It doesn't matter how it happens.
You think that's enough, Bake? Make the playoffs?
I think that's the bare minimum, right? Like, I think if you're a Bengals fan, I think you want this team competing for a spot in the Super Bowl.
Sure.
But you have to make the playoffs. Like another year, I think another year of not making the playoffs is very, very bad for them.
If they miss the playoffs again, it'll be 3 out of 4 years missing the playoffs. And that's impossible with that talent and Burrow and all of it. I mean, that's abject failure. Everything they did this season was to contend in the division and to have a playoff run. To me, if they don't at least play in the divisional round, you'd have to be just having a lot of questions, because you're right. I said bare minimum, and making the playoffs is the bare minimum. You don't know what's going to happen, who's healthy. There's a million factors. I think that's fair. But to me, the way that this was built, who they paid, what they did with Hendrickson on basically a 1 year, this is as all chips into the middle of the table as the Cincinnati Bengals have ever been. And to me, if they're not at least in the divisional round, and they should be a team that's knocking on. Now, I think they're wildly flawed defensively, wildly. But that's not how they're being built. They weren't built that way. So they're going to try to outscore everybody. To me, you have to at least win a game in the postseason. Otherwise, I need to see if I got to make sure Zach Taylor's my guy.
And I
think I don't do that.
That's the biggest question. Obviously, for me, if they don't make the playoffs, then I think you have a serious conversation leaning towards removal of Zach Taylor. If they can make it into the wild card and have a close loss, maybe you can. It would have to be a continued serious conversation, because then you need to fix defensively. And I don't have faith in Zach Taylor to run this organization properly, but he's got his quarterback, and that's kind of the ultimate life preserver for you in that situation. Mm-hmm. The defense has, and I don't know if he's the right guy to address it, but last year he lopped off the head of the defensive coordinator, and so he's kind of the final one remaining.
He's the last.
Can't fire Al Golden. I mean, you can, but
fire Mike Brown.
We can do that for.
So you can't fire Mike Brown, so it is what it is.
With the Bengals' history of not wanting to fire coaches, buy out coaches, they keep them for a long time. Zach Taylor's contract is not up until after next season, because he signed an extension in 2022. So will the Bengals, if they don't make the playoffs this year, would they pull the trigger and get rid of him a year early or not?
They historically don't, but they historically don't pay people the way that they paid all these guys either. So maybe the sense of urgency is being felt down there from Joe applying the pressure. And maybe that changes it a little bit. From the Cleveland side, to me, you almost have to think of their season on two parallel lines. I think they're going to be better than people think. I think they're better than 4.5. You could just go through the roster and count all of the big-time players that are on the roster. And I think if Judkins comes back, when he comes back, he's going to give them a big-time shot in the arm in terms of what they want to be offensively. So I think they're more than 4.5 for sure. Their roster's too good to be one of the worst teams in football. They're going to be more competently played at the quarterback position. So I think there's two things. Number one, Flacco stays the starter until they're out of it. And then if that happens, when that happens, then I've got to see those two kids play quarterback. I've got to see it. I've got to see if Dylan Gabriel can be Brock Purdy. I got to see it. I got to see if Shedeur Sanders can be an NFL quarterback. Got to see it. So that, to me, for the Browns, it's kind of two objectives that, to me, they have to check. And I think they have to check both boxes this year. And I think you can.
I'm torn on it, because I think my desire to see if one of those two rookies can be the quarterback weighs a little heavier than winning football games, because they have 2 first-round picks. But with Joe Flacco, like we saw in 2023, almost anything is possible. Mm-hmm. And so if you find yourself coming out of that London game, at or above, we won't be above 500, but if you're 3-2, if you're 2-3, you're going to talk me, cynical Browns fan, into being like, oh, what the hell? Mm-hmm. Keep Flacco in and go on a run, because I do think, and this is from the front office perspective, they owe some of those veterans the opportunity to do that. Bleep it. Let's go.
You're not going to talk me into that as a Browns fan, and maybe I've just seen too much over my life as a Browns fan, but I don't believe, me personally, that this roster is as good as a lot of people think that it is. And I just do not believe they are in contention. Even though everybody's in contention right now, I believe the Browns are out of contention already. And I think with Joe Flacco as your starter, you're a 7-win team, maybe an 8-win team at best. So to me this year, like, when is Judkins going to be back? We don't know. And that running back room is subpar without Quinshon Judkins. Who knows what you're going to get? I think the receiver room is subpar, and I think banking on a guy like Isaiah Bond is a risk. I think the tight ends can be pretty good, especially with Flacco throwing to them. But to me, for the Browns this year, I have to know if Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is a guy that maybe can be your future, because to me, as a Browns fan, I'm already looking to next year, and I feel like the Browns have 2 top 10 picks because I don't think the Jags are going to be any good this year either. So I think this could be next year, could be a generational type draft for the Browns, something that could change the future of their franchise. If you don't believe you have a quarterback, you can get one. You could get a guy like a Caleb Downs, or if you think you do have a quarterback, you could get a Downs and someone else, something like that. So it is all about Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders to me this year for the Browns.
Doug Les Maurice in 2 minutes, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Common Man here for Hollywood Casino and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Timmy, it's football season. That means winning and fun.
Oh, yeah. We have tailgate buffets for all of our watch parties. The 3 apps for $12 special. $25 Miller Lite buckets.
And don't forget the crab legs. That's extended through September.
So reserve a table at HollywoodColumbus.com.
And how about this for new members? Sign up for the rewards program on the Penn Play app. Get a $20 dining credit.
Then you get more crab legs.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Crab leg problem? Call 1-800-CRAB-LEGS.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Week number 1, it all starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers, this one's for you. You bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. Poof, instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Gotta love that quad box, right? Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEFAN971. That's code THEFAN971 to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, it's 11:30 on a Friday. At this time, we talk to our good buddy Doug Les Maurice, and he joins us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What do I see this morning? Do I have a new name on the venture, my friend?
Yeah, so the thing, we're doing a new thing. Me and Bill Landis. Everybody loves Bill Landis. Some people like me. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube, and also it's a Substack where we write and then offer some premium podcasts and audio stuff there at the Bill and Doug OSU on the Substack. So you can find us there, but also putting it out for free on the YouTube channel and everywhere you find podcasts.
Awesome. Great. Congratulations on that. More Thank you and Bill is a win for everybody around. Look, I remember doing your podcast last summer, summer of 2024. And we talked about Ohio State and this notion of pulling the other fist out from behind its back that I ran with last year and fighting with both fists forward and being the preeminent college football power in the sport. And I think what we got last week was just more confirmation that that's where we're at, bud. Where did you come out of it?
So I picked Texas to win.
You did.
So that game then did adjust my view of Ohio State. So we talked about on the show this week, like, if you had a bet your house bet right now, who wins the national championship, who would you pick?
So that's such a tricky one because the answer to that is, like, if you had to do it, you would never do it.
Yeah.
Because it's what's so difficult is because the way that Ohio State wins one Saturday is not what they're going to be in November. So I still think it's a good pick on Ohio State to do it just because they've done it. And I think the defense is going to travel. I guess I'd be fine with that. If I had to, I would be fine living in the Buckeye world.
Because I would not have before the year. I would have said, well, the coordinator losses, we know they never, they're always reloading, but they did lose a lot of talent. Of course they're going to be good, but I think a couple other people are going to be better. Mm-hmm. So now we're at the point where, because here's the thing, when Saban and I wrote this after the game on the Substack, like, are we in Bama territory? I think that's what everybody's wondering. Is this, if there's going to be the next Bama, modern dynasty, I think people would argue either A, NIL, transfer portal, the way the sport has changed, there isn't going to be one, which is probably a good argument. But if there is going to be one, who would you put at the top of the list? And I think it's definitely Ohio State. And now we're in a situation when Saban won a national title. It didn't matter who was back. It didn't matter what coaches changed. You thought going into the next year, Alabama's probably going to win, right? Are we going to get to that point with Ohio State? I wasn't there before the season. Well, I mean, I don't know, Ohio State? Because it's like, well, Jack Sawyer's gone and Chip Kelly's gone. But maybe, Bo, that's what's changing, that they're more inevitable, that they're more of an assumption, and that it's Ohio State versus the field. And it's just a small shift. But to beat Texas without, as you said, that's 20% of Julian's saying. That's not who they're going to be. But they still beat number one. They follow up the playoff run to the title by beating number one without being the best version of themselves. Are we getting to inevitable Ohio State? If you don't know who to pick, lean Buckeyes, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And I think in a way they beat Texas with one hand tied behind their back because that's all they needed. Sure. They didn't need the full offensive explosion to be able to do it. They didn't need to put the kid in harm's way. And by the way, and I tweeted this during the game, I thought he was extraordinary, and I thought the moment wasn't too big, and he was calm, and I think he could have handled a lot more than they put on his plate, Doug. And I think all of those things. I do think at the very least, as you were talking about that in terms of the next Saban, I'm with the argument. I would be in the argument of there won't be one because of NIL and turnover and all of it. But I do think that Ohio State absolutely is in like a Kirby Smart Georgia run where he had that 3 or 4 years where they played for it or won it like every year. Like Clemson had that with Dabo where they played for it or won it. Like that to me feels and that's the first step, right? You got to do that before you can do the Saban thing.
I agree, but the other interesting part of this, and again, it's like, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? I don't know. Do you want to compare the hometown team to the greatest coach in college football history? That's not too much after one game, is it? Is that too far?
No.
We're just spitballing. But the other thing is, I think it was very reasonable to be like, I don't know about the Matt Patricia thing. I think that was a very reasonable place to be. And I think it was very reasonable to think, I don't know about promoting Brian Hartline from within. Because we did this week on the show comparing 25 Ohio State to 15 Ohio State, right? And you look back at why didn't it happen in 2015? Why didn't a repeat happen? And there's a bunch of stuff there. But one of the things is you lost Tom Herman and you didn't replace him the right way. So I thought that was reasonable. But again, if we're approaching tiptoeing into Saban territory, who cares who Saban's coordinators are? It's Saban. It's Bama. He ran people through. You believed in the structure and the process and the guy. And what if we are tiptoeing into that where the next time Ryan Day is replacing a coordinator, there's not as much consternation? Because it's like, they're Ohio State. They're Ryan Day. It'll work out, which is where Alabama got to. That's another possible interesting comparison to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually talked about that earlier this week. Exactly that. And the point of it was never. That's when you have the program. Is when it's not the fill in the blank Will Muschamp Alabama defense or the Jimbo Fisher Alabama offense, whoever the coordinator of the day was at Bama in those times, or even before that LSU. Both those guys were with him at LSU. It's the Alabama offense and defense. Now I do think this Patricia thing. I was thinking about this, Doug. He thrived in a league where everything is set up to be the same. The talent discrepancy between the Super Bowl champion and the worst team is very minimal. It's like the difference between Ohio State and Illinois. It's not the difference between Ohio State and Grambling. Now, all of a sudden, that acumen, and he's got the best players, and then that triumvirate of Sonny, Arvell, and Caleb. I don't know if we've seen one like that in a very, very long time. So I do think that because I think the offense is, I know what's coming there. I can see that coming. But I didn't know that the defense would get to that level that quick. That was an attention getter to me. That was clearly the biggest takeaway for me from Saturday.
And you just see it here. And as it turns out, it's really like a continuation of the Knowles idea, obviously with practiced in a different way. But there was that brief little moment when, Jim Knowles didn't get Tackett Curtis in recruiting. And it was like, hey, is Jim Knowles a recruiter? And it's like, we're so far past that conversation now. You got to get a coordinator who's a schemer. Laurinaitis and Walton and Larry Johnson and McCaffrey, they'll handle the recruiting. NIL will handle the recruiting, right? Do you have a schemer on that side of the ball? And now if you just start running through schemers and it turns out, well, yeah, Matt Patricia schemed it up pretty darn well. But the thing you have to remember, and Ryan Day mentioned it this week, and I've heard Ryan Day say this in the past, it's not about what a coach knows. There's smart coaches all over the place. It's about what the players know. Because if a coach knows something and the players can't execute it, what's the point? That these players, and not just Caleb Downs and his computer,
You lose him? I think we lost. That's okay. I mean, that was the final point anyway. I don't know if that was us or on him. It could be. It's all right, Baker. We were about done anyway with Doug, so it's all right. Always great to hear from Doug, and I do think those points on the Saban. Go ahead, Doug. I think we got you back. Go ahead and finish that point, buddy. Yeah, it's not there. Yeah, something's wrong. I don't know if it's on our end or his, but something's not quite there with Doug. So look, it's you got the stuff that you came for with Doug, all the big picture stuff that we needed, and the Saban conversation is one we had. We had it a little bit with Paul earlier this week, where I asked him, and he said this is the preeminent program in college football. That's from the Southern perspective. So now it's just about continuing to stack it and having that kind of level of excellence be something that continues for year after year after year. It's nice to be a Buckeye fan, to say the least. We'll get you 3 things to a Buckeye victory coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's the Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. After week 1, having an actual game film and game experience, that has to be a great tool to work with a football team.
Yeah, real evaluation and opportunity for guys to see themselves and to grow from. We got to figure out what we did well, but then where we got to improve individually as units, and then as a team. So, they kind of have their list now to work on, and so went about the business of having a good week of practice, and that's been important. It was good to see them respond that way, the team respond with a good week of practice, because, it's easy to have a letdown after a big game like that. I didn't see that. So, we'll see what happens here this week, but if we keep practicing well, then we'll get better.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Flight Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Flight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Coach, you mentioned practicing well, but is one of the biggest things to see what happened in the game be what you went through in practice?
Yeah, that's it. You know, we always say you sing to the level of your training, and when you're training at a high level, then that's what's going to happen. And then that's now something that I think our guys can hang their hat on, because we preach that all preseason, is that, you know, if we expect to play well in this first game, we have to practice well. How we practice really showed up in the game. Now, again, so many things we got to get better at, but I think they believe in that and they understand that, and that's what being a pro is. You know, we talk about the difference between being a pro and a player, and a pro is very intentional about how they go about their day-to-day operation, and so, you know, we have to become professionals, and that's part of growing up. That's the part of the maturity of this team that's going to be important as we move forward.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
From the first one born in the USA to the tens of millions that followed, from the American highways to the NASCAR race days, more people have counted on their Camrys than any other car for over 23 years. And now, Camry is even better. It's all hybrid all the time to be more efficient yet powerful, with available all-wheel drive for the capability to go wherever you want to go in style and comfort. For the latest offers, go to Toyota.com and make your own history. Toyota, let's go places.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Dormar, you're kind of cute. Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in his tighty-whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair. Dormar, you're kind of cute.
At Kemba Financial Credit Union, we care about you. Consumers like you say they don't want monthly fees for checking, and we listen. Introducing hassle-free checking with no monthly service fee. Use it as an easy place to deposit and transfer your money, along with your everyday banking needs. Plus, Kemba's expansive digital banking services make it easy for you to bank how you want. At Kemba, we're always thinking of ways to put you and your finances first. Visit Kemba.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Restrictions apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. What do we have on the poll today, Reese?
Daily Fan Poll asks, how many of the Buckeye quarterbacks do you expect to see in tomorrow's game? Julian Sain, Julian Lincoln, and Tavian St. Clair. 75% say Julian and Lincoln.
Oh, I would have set the over-under at, it's 2.5 for sure, and I would take the over. I think you see all three. And I was thinking about, do you even see the fourth? Do you even give a couple of snaps?
No.
Late in the fourth.
There's no reason.
Give a couple of snaps. I mean, well, look, if you're trying to do the thing where, like, you got to run out on the field in that uniform and take some snaps in the horseshoe, that's your one chance to do it is this game. So I think you may even see 4 of them.
I would argue just because you
get a
need
snap to kneel it, you know?
Maybe that, okay. Maybe in that instance where you're just doing victory formation, Brick Handler can come out there, but in actual game reps, these are so important, I think, tomorrow and next week against Ohio.
Yeah, and this will probably be the only time you'll be able to see Tavian St. Clair take snaps. He'll probably be in this one, provided there isn't an injury somewhere else. And, I think you could see all four, even if it's just a series, two handoffs and a kneel down. I think you could see that, too. This is really lopsided. It really is. All right, time for three things to a Buckeye victory.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me, just be healthy. Come out unscathed. Get in, get out, handle your business, play clean, play without injury, on to the next. This is a glorified practice for Ohio State, so use it as such. But the one ability that matters so much coming out of this, and as the season goes along, when you're talking about trying to play 16, 17 games, is availability. So just get in and get out healthy. See what you need to see out of your ones, and then get them on the bench and get them rested. It's going to be a long season.
First thing for me, and I do think like our three things are going to be very similar for this, but a lot of places have post-game fireworks, have beginning of game fireworks. Da bomb early. When Julian's done and Lincoln comes in, da bomb. This is going to be a 3:30 kick, and people on campus are going to be, have had beverages since about 10, 11 a.m. Wake them back up with the bomb.
I think my first thing is pretty similar to yours, Reese. Let Julian loose here. Like, this guy was a 5-star number one quarterback in the country, went to Alabama. Everybody wanted him for a reason. Let's let him rip right off the rip.
Yeah. Where are you guys on 3:30 kicks for a game like this?
Boo.
I wish this were noon. Get it in, get it out. Kind of be done by 4 o'clock. Have your day in the mix.
This does kind of scream noon, but I don't understand all the consternation over the kick times and whatnot. Like, I do think Ohio State, Texas, that should be under the lights. But for the most part, I don't care about the kick times.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, like, if you're our perspective and you're watching every play until the final whistle, this basically eats your whole day Saturday. Like, that's always been my issue with the 3:30 is you kind of sit around for it, and then it takes you well into the evening, and then you're done. So, like, in the old days, the mental space was the noon kicks were where the worst games were, which is how Fox has pounced. And so, I like the idea. I would like the idea of this one being over with at 3:40. Also wouldn't mind it being night because you can kind of manufacture some atmosphere. I know the post-game show wouldn't be a fan of that, but you can manufacture a little atmosphere for it. I think it's going to be a tough sell. To Reese's point, I think a lot of these are going to be the same, which brings me to number 2. Let all those wide receivers eat. All of them. Top down. Get them going, stat pad. This ought to be one where, at the end of the month of September, we look at Jeremiah Carnell, Brandon Ennis, the depth, the young guys. You look at their receiving yardage, and they got 400 and 345 yards receiving, something like that. If 160 of it happened in this game, fine. Let those guys get going. Let them eat.
Second thing for me, keep it clean. No penalties, no turnovers, or at least keep the penalties to a minimum. I'd love to see if Ohio State could go the entire month of September without turning the ball over. Be tough to do, but at a game like tomorrow, you keep everything as clean as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Second thing for me, backups, and not 3 yards in a cloud of dust backups. Let the backups play too.
Yeah, that dovetails into my third thing, which is one of the things Reese and I have banged our heads against the wall and the table with for years. Julian, Lincoln, Tavian, full complement of the Ohio State offense. Obviously, Julian will do that in the first half. Once it gets out of hand, give Lincoln 2 series where he can spin it around and go try to score. Give Tavian St. Clair a series or 2 where you can go and do everything you'd want to do offensively. You've pulled out the ones across the board. So you're throwing to 2s and 3s. You're being blocked for by 2s and 3s. You're still demonstratively more talented than them. Let those guys run the full complement of the offense because in a 16-game season, you might just need it.
Verbatim, my third thing. Second-team quarterback, third-team quarterback, full complement of Ohio State's offense. Please.
Yeah. I feel like they need it. It's an opportunity for that.
Not just for this season if there's an injury, but for next season as well.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to see Lincoln get a couple reps with the ones even, right?
Sure.
Let him play with those guys.
If you're still trying to figure out who your best 5 offensive linemen are, absolutely.
Yeah. Let him have that first series after half with the ones.
Final thing for me, Bo, this is your first thing. Stay healthy. Mm-hmm. No minor hiccups here, no sprained ankles, no dislocated fingers, no stingers. Like, if Sonny Styles has any hangover from whatever was plaguing him in the second half of that game last week, don't even play him. If Kenyatta Jackson still having a little bit of trouble with that concussion test, don't even play him.
I agree.
Whatever you do, stay healthy.
It's a big number I gave you, Bake.
Oh, yeah.
49 and a half.
We got to do a pick here. And, Bo, your 49 and a half, I think, is so spot on. And we've said Ryan Day has done it at least once a year. I am going right over the hook. 56-6 Buckeyes.
Yeah, I see it similarly. 56-3, my final score. Buckeyes covered last week. Buckeyes will cover Bo's spread this week. Next week, though, see what happens against the Bobcats.
Yeah, we will. I just think Ryan maybe is a little too nice. Just a little too nice. I don't know that he'll bury him. I mean, you're still going to bury him. I mean, I'm picking at 56-7, so you're still going to bury him. But it's the hook that brings me back. So I'm going to go 56-7. Buckeyes in a landslide, but not an embarrassment of a landslide. So we'll start to ratchet these things up. Ohio next week, then the bye, then Washington. This is a get-right game, get healthy, take care of each other, hopefully see the full complement, enjoy another Buckeye Saturday in Old Columbus Town. Rothman and Ice coming up next. We're back Monday to break it all down. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
Dormar, you're kind of hero. When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Saving money now at Menards. Patriot Lighting outdoor motion sensing wall lights bring on-demand bright illumination, adding safety and security to your outdoor area. Choose from a variety of styles and functions like the 3-head motion sensor floodlight, which has a powerful 5,500 lumen brightness. Save big on all Patriot security lights. Also check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
You won't want to miss Ohio State football in the shoe with powerhouse matchups this fall. Feel the roar of 100,000 strong. Be part of the action and cheer on the Buckeyes as they smash through to victory. There's nothing like a fall Saturday in Ohio Stadium. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab tickets, gear up, and get ready for game day.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Listen up, players. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose.
So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, or player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
For years, you've been hearing us talk about the Newman Roofing difference, delivering nothing short of an excellent customer experience each and every single time, from the first phone call to the end of your project. But don't take our word for it. Take a listen to our friend John and his Newman Roofing experience.
Well, the first thing that drew me to Newman Roofing is the extraordinary Google score of 5.0. That was the first indication to me that this was going to be a good experience. Overall, the experience with Newman Roofing was wonderful. When I came home, the job was completely finished. The crew had cleaned up and left. I wouldn't have known that they were there.
What star rating would you give Newman Roofing on Google?
I would, without hesitation, award Newman Roofing a 5-star rating on Google.
Any advice for those looking for a new roof, John?
Once you have contact with Newman Roofing, you'll understand why everybody's giving them a 5-point rating.
Do what John did and schedule your free roof or siding consultation with Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Is there anything better than a college football Saturday? Not if you're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join the fan for watch parties for the games this season. Oh, you got to check out the display case of amazing autographed prizes you can win. It's beautiful. 2 massive TV walls to watch the national champs. Watch and place wagers with over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and live shows. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood every single year. And the reason why is water and Weed Man. Good news, I'm only selling you one of them. Fall is the perfect time to improve your lawn for next year. The work you do or don't do now is directly reflected next spring. If you want a beautiful spring lawn, it starts now, not next April. Now through the end of September, mention the promo code Common Man and get a free blanket weed control with the purchase of a full program. For a free quote, go to weedman.com.